What's good, chat? Wednesday. I have a especially attractive panel here tonight with me to help break down, tear down, um, possibly like fondle House of the Dragon season 2 and the finale and the entire season. And to help me, I've got Lord and Lady B. What's up, guys?
Hey, how are you?
I am pretty good. It's been a good day. Been busy, but good. I can't complain. I do have a cool story that I'll get to after we have some chat people, but which involves last week's lost dog story.
The dog. I was going to ask you about that.
The show's dumb and gay like Dawn. That's why he loves it.
Well, we weren't going to say, but now that you bring it up.
Yeah, I think that's where this show's going to go tonight, guys. Actually, if there's anyone watching right now and you want to come on and you like the show, this is not like a threat. You're not going to get abused too hard. Maybe like a little bit over the pants, but that's going to be it. Let me know, and I might pop you in here because I think most of the guests tonight, Nadia, who's coming, I believe, soon. We didn't end up as being fans of season 2, but we're going to get into that and why. And thanks, Copa, for the Copa raid. Hey, Jana, good to see you. Yeah, more dumb and gay. Whoa. We got a very special guest here tonight. The Dawn.
What's up?
What's up, Dawn?
Hi, Dawn.
I'm taking the Riverlands. No one's gonna stop me. Not even Rob Stark, the young wolf. Can you imagine Tywin speaking like that? Shut up! You're stupid. You're afraid. You're gonna kill these suckers. They're gonna come right in. You're gonna give them food. You're gonna go against guest right. I don't care. It doesn't matter, dude.
No, you got to do the camera like the Riverlands is a country in Westeros by the river. Westeros.
Break it down. Yeah, do the Shane Gillis breakdown of Donald Trump, where he's like, when I walked into the Riverlands, I said, "Wow, there's a lot of rivers here. There's a lot of rivers. They should call this place the Riverlands." Turns out it is.
Best rivers, huge rivers.
Huge, glorious river. Nothing's gonna beat this river unless I'm putting it into a castle by the rains. Those guys are suckers and losers, and they're dead now. They have a song for that, Rains of Castamere. It's a great song. It's the best song. People love this song. I want that. Give me that.
I hear people all over the world who love that song. It's kind of the best song.
They can't get enough of this song. This is what they tell me. They sing it everywhere. I'm not even there.
If only we knew somebody who had an incredibly successful Game of Thrones channel that was popping off like crazy.
Oh my gosh!
Who could make such a thing?
That would be amazing. If someone was like that, you should plug their channel in the chat.
Yeah. I really hope whoever the channel it is that you can make those. You can make the actual like your avatars out of metal with just the tip, like really that very carved tip at the end of the sword. I want to see that. Well, I guess it's more the pommel, right? But it's very shapely.
Any phallic themed YouTube channel is destined for greatness. I said this once. I'll say it again.
It's true.
I love that channel. I'm not going to name it. Don't subscribe.
Yeah, I definitely don't subscribe, but if you do subscribe, make sure you go and mouse over all of the videos there. Just very quickly.
Just get the engagement.
Yeah. Unsub is good. I know a guy at Philosophy Phoenix who did the unsub trick to people, which he explained to me after, and that's true for DHS, where he's like, well, if you unsub and then you sub again, that puts them back on your top of your list for recommendations.
That's true.
Who knew that? Yeah. Fucking that flaccid guy was fun. Sketch. Wasting my time. Kick Bluffy. Yes, I would love to kick Bluffy. Get in here, Bluffy, so I can kick you. I love the hot D. No, you didn't, Shanna. No, you didn't.
It's not hot D. It's the hot D.
It is the D hot D. D hot D. Evening peeps. Hey, Cajun. So we'll see. We'll get into the second season where I went over and above. To be fair, I feel like so. Not that it matters if I'm fair or not, but I just that was a finale was not a finale.
Oh my God.
That was like 100J finale.
100J, yeah. It's like just like an hour and a half of edging.
Drooping, and then he can't finish, and then he drives home and sends her a video of him singing some Daryl and Oates.
Talks about his mom or something.
Yeah. Sketch. Hey, child of the flower. Good afternoon, lads and lassies. Good to see you here. I've not seen that name before. Oh, that's a good look. Good
Yeah.
look.
Auto.
I shared it out, so if people show up, I don't want them to get confused when they just see
Good idea.
a beautiful Donnie T and dripping with Lannister garb. Oh, yes.
Handle that dragon. Okay. IJP, Mexican is in the house. Cannoli, good to see you. I haven't watched. Yeah. It's not worth the watch. Hey, I did 8 hours. Like, oh, this was over 8 hours.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. How's Dane for life? Lady B?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of House Dane.
Base Lady B. And hello, Sherry.
Including Darkstar. Are you a
Hell
Darkstar
yeah.
hater? Yeah. Okay.
You're a Darkstar hater?
No, there's just so many people that are Darkstar haters. They're like, oh, he's such
Why?
an emo, edgy boy. He's so cringe.
That's
I'm
why he's awesome. Like,
He's made a full loop. So cringe he's based and awesome.
yeah. I just wish he would have really just finished the job with Marcella. Like,
I believe we call that the full Ted Cruz.
That's right.
you know, he took a picture with Ted Cruz. I've seen it.
What?
Yes.
Oh,
With
come
him?
on.
Of him.
Show us.
I don't have it. It's
don't
on
know.
his brother's phone. What was it, like in 2018 or something? Like before he got really fat.
I was like, it had to be 2015. This was
Yeah.
when he was still the favorite to win the nomination over.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
It was really old.
I had hair back then.
I believe it. I believe it. Okay, so this is the magic dog from last week. You guys love dog stories, and
Oh,
you
Can't get
don't
enough
care
of
about
them.
this show at all. Here's a puppy. So this is the puppy that my wife did most of the work. She's reminded me after and said, "You took all the credit on your show," and I did, and I will continue to do so going forward. Oh, I saw your video on Hill's channel and wanted to come in. Good to see you.
My
Welcome.
Hilters rise up. Thank you. Thank you for
Hilters,
representing.
get in here.
Hilters. Hail Hilters.
So we saved this lost dog, and found the owner through the vet, and they took the dog back, and I said, "What's the dog's name?" And my wife didn't find it, which I chastised her for later. And so, but it turns out it's named Izzy. The owners contacted us and said, "Hey, do you guys want to come over?" And I thought, well, this is a trap for sure, and and say hi to the dog. And we've got a pool and some stuff, so yeah, come on over and come over for lunch. And we're like, well, okay, I don't know, it's a bit weird, but they also have a kid too who's also has autism. Like, oh, we have this big connection. We'll come see you guys. Okay, so we walk across the street and we walk into the rich area by where we live, like across. It's not tracks, it's a road, but it's like there's a definite difference in housing size. So they're in the rich end. We go into their place. The dog comes to the door, loves us, Izzy, because I was giving her nothing but treats. Go into the house for the afternoon there, and they have this enormous pool, hot tub. They're on like a lake, and I go into the guy's, like, check out my home theater. I go in, he's got 3 of the original posters from Lord of the Rings movies, from Jackson's movies, mounted in there. And I said, how the fuck did you get these? And he has a suit of armor in there too.
Wow.
A Millennium Falcon that's way bigger than like our dining room table that he's working on as Lego. He's got the Death Star up. He's got Darth Vader made. He's like uber nerd. And then I talk about Lord of the Rings. He goes, oh, I love those movies. I love the books. I read them every year. I watch these movies every year. He's read everything, some really in all of it. And he's like a giant nerd, and he's fucking rich. And this is what I would do if I was rich. Like I said, and he goes, I have more stuff you should see. He showed me some other stuff that he's got. He also claims to, I have not seen them, but his kid can be a bit on the violent side. And so, but he got in touch with people working on the movies back in the day, and he has, I guess, hero versions of Glamdring, Narsil, and Sting.
Dude.
I normally it was okay, dude. Like, you probably don't really have all this stuff, but I was in his house, so I can believe it. And so I'm gonna work hard to maybe be his best friend if possible. And this dog did all of it.
Yeah, maybe the dog went out to find you.
Yeah. It was,
You know
it was
what?
meant to be.
That could be.
I mean, Zax, you're like 3 years away from the collapse up there. Like,
Yep.
you could be the head of this guy's personal security for when you're fighting off like The
Orcs.
Raiders.
Or
That's a good point. I could totally be his protection. I'll make him feel scared for a while. Then, like I'll maybe like, you know, hide around his property every once in a while, and maybe spook him. And when his wife's home alone, throw stuff at the windows, things like that to really creep him out. And they go, "Hey, you guys having any weird people hanging around your house at night? Do you need private security? Because I know a guy."
That's
Huh?
just you with a fake mustache? Or...
And he was going to show me his book collection, but we had to go. So, yeah. Best friends.
Speaking of Bush collections, I'm really excited. I went to Half Price Books where I said, I'm like, babe, I can't give you back to the airports and the suitcases and all of your traveling life. And I'm like, please take me with you, because it was only like he's going to Columbus this week. That's why we're in a hotel. And I went and found a cool park with a great garden. And then on the way back, I saw Half Price Books. So I'm really excited. I wish Kayla was here because I found the Ice Dragon. It's the whole illustrated version.
Huh?
And it's got like the whole pictures and everything. So I'm really looking forward to reading this. I know people are like, I'm not reading anything of George R. R. Martin's, but I like his book still. I think it's good. So I'm looking forward to reading that. And I got first edition of the Silmarillion, of the American version of the Silmarillion.
Really?
Back there. Yeah. Yeah. But it's the American printing. So it's really cool. I'm very excited. And it's in a pretty good condition for being a book from the 70s. So it's going on my like heirloom library collection. And I have like the one that I did in book club, like the cover fell off and stuff. So I can't use it anymore. But I got a newer like paperback edition. So. But this is going to be the heirloom copy that goes up on the shelf. So, yeah, we're good.
That's awesome. How'd you get that?
I just found it at Half Price Books.
Half Price Books.
Yeah, I love used bookstores. I'm such a slut for used bookstores. Oh, my God. Yeah.
Don, what about you?
Yeah.
I'm a slut for new bookstores. So
New bookstores.
check me out there.
Barnes and Noble.
Barnes and Noble, like now a TV, now a hit series on Netflix and HBO, like the stickers. You go for the stickers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, actually, I'm more of a Borders guy. So,
Borders. Oh my God, I miss Borders.
Deep cut.
Ken, deserved for snitching on my king. Who snitched on what? I don't know what that. Don, did I miss something here?
Downser, are you a Christian's alt account? The treason is treason. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know.
Swinger Party. I mean, it did have that potential. I won't lie. The couple does CrossFit, so probably.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Get in there, dude. Get with him, not with her.
Yeah, I want the whole thing. So
no. Don't swap wives. Your wife should go over there, and he comes to you.
Oh.
I like it. I'll try it. He has the money, so treason is treason. That's true. Treason is treason. Pycelle. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh. This is your buddy Christian?
No,
but if he is, he's just a Christian fan. That's what he says there. But
Christian Cole, like Christian.
No.
No.
No. Is it spelled the same way? No, I don't think so.
CRISTON versus CHRIS.
Yeah, it's I think it's IAN. Anyways, but what were we just saying about Pycelle? Yeah, he really wants us to do a Pycelle video as well as a Sweet Robin video, which we're gonna do, like how Sweet Robin could win the Game of Thrones. That has to be a video, so we're gonna do that one.
I could see it. Just the last man standing.
Yeah, why not?
Throw him through the moon door. Dude sucks.
What if he flew?
Yep.
I can fly.
I believe I can fly.
I think that I've got the illustrated version of this book, and I think the art in there is way better than anything that the show has. I've been going through it, actually reading it again, and it's shocking how good the characters are represented in the book as opposed to in this show. I can't believe that they've gone this far and screwed it up this badly. That's sort of my initial take on this, guys. Lord and Lady, what's your overall take home from season 2 of this series?
Well, I think everyone that ever did a review with me, Dawn included, knew that from the beginning I was a hater. But I was trying to give it a chance. I'm like, look, it's like they were just doing the catch-up game in season 1, and I'm like, it can either get really good from here on out, or it's gonna crash and burn, and it was worse than I could have imagined. there were so many like missed opportunities. I thought that it just could have been good. And
Yeah.
they just didn't commit to, like, it's like I could get it if they want to do their own story and just go whole hog, like, you know, in episode 1 when like Rhaenyra is talking to Alicent with her head in her lap and she's like, I just want to ride dragons and eat cake. It's like if they would have gone down that route, if they would have been like full on lesbians, if we got some steamy sex scene, I would have been way happier than with what the boring ass shit we got.
I mean, sure. Yeah, I don't mind lesbians, but we have to see boobs if you're going to have lesbians.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, boobs, like, you know.
Yep. My biggest takeaway from this season of television was that, you know, even worse than just producing dog shit, the worst thing that a show can do is waste my fucking time. And this season was a massive waste of time. We started out a season with the murder of Rhaenyra's kid. Or we ended last season with the death of Rhaenyra's kid, and we still haven't had a fucking war yet. Like, what the hell are we doing here?
I think that they are they're kind of teasing us. It's a bit of a Dawn tease.
Oh yeah.
Season.
Oh yeah.
Just full on fondling the balls, but there is no plan for any eruption.
Well, Dawn, what did you think overall? Quick general thoughts.
I feel pretty similar. Just like a disappointment. It feels like a waste of time. There are important beats that this season is able to effectively do, and I like some of the depiction. Like I like Aegon. I like
Aegon.
I like Larry's. They've made him no longer a foot fetishist.
Thank God.
Big improvement.
Yeah, I think Otto was fine. There's a lot of things I thought was fine what was happening in the show, but then it felt like some of the writers from episode to episode didn't have any continuity with one another, that they couldn't go back and edit any of their stuff, or it feels like the character should be from episode 3 to 4 or wherever down the line. And that's what caused so much of this. Like, it feels like people are spinning their wheels, and it just felt like every episode was the lead up episode. Game of Thrones had a good method of like set up, deliver, set up, deliver, set up, deliver. And they almost did that the whole entire way down all the 10 episodes. And this did not. It was one delivery in episode 6, meh. But yeah. Anyways, that's my general thoughts.
And welcome, Nadia.
Hello, everybody.
Nadia.
Yo.
Evening.
I think Nadia
How's
has
everybody doing?
fire for the show.
Good.
Doing well.
Team Black supporter Nadia.
No, fuck the show
I'm probably gonna
completely.
leave here soon.
Wow.
No, fuck the show
Yes.
completely. I'm over it.
Yep.
It lost me. The last 4 episodes, I was just like, is anything ever going to happen? And nothing ever happens.
Nothing
So
ever happens.
I have no interest in continuing or watching season 3.
I'm
Really?
gonna reread the books.
Yeah. I'll just read the books.
Yeah.
Because apparently they're way more interesting than this fucking piece of shit. So
Well, it's I don't know if it's more interesting. It's definitely sounds consistent with like the characters they set up, and it doesn't feel like because it's so brief. It goes through the events pretty quickly. But I think like with Hugh, I think this is somewhat more interesting what they do than what they do in the books. With Hugh, Aegon's not really depicted all that much in the books either. I'm not a big fan of Aemond's turn, but I don't know what you guys think, because I think both you two have. I guess Zach has read the book. Did you like any changes? I know most of the changes are bad, like Alicent and Rhaenyra, but
Do I like any of the changes? That's a good question, Dawn. I think that I probably did, and I'd have to go through it again and see what I enjoyed about it. But mostly, like, I'm left because of the finale, which wasn't a finale at all. I'm actually way more pissed off about this series than I thought that I could ever be. I didn't expect that. I thought, like, well, there will be some payoff, but I'm not even convinced now. I've been telling people that I think this may be the case, that there's all this setup because they really were teasing us. They were like, you know, all the clothes were almost off at the end of that episode with all the armies marching and everything's happening. It's all going to be great. It's all going to be here. And then when George writes, he sometimes skips the battle and talks about the dinner instead. And you'll get a whole chapter about, honeyed hog and he likes to eat, the guy. And I'm afraid that they might show us the Battle of the Gullet a little bit, but it'll mostly be aftermath. And I know that sounds absurd, but I could actually see them doing that based on what they did this season, which is episode 4 was good or passable because of all of the action involved. The characters made decisions that were dumb, didn't make any sense. Like why Aemond would openly attack his brother in front of armies, right? Who also, not only now he has to deal with that when he goes back, but also that his brother had a dragon and then now there's 2 of them and now you only have you. It was a bad move. Like it was like, badass move, but it was
When
a bad
did he actually
choice.
attack his brother? Because I just remember him like coming upon Sunfyre and Aegon, and it looks like he's maybe like taking his sword out of his hilt, but we don't really know.
When they breathed fire on the 2 of them when
Yeah.
they were locked up is what is
Okay. That's an attack. Okay.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
Yeah.
Low T the whole fucking season. Low T. There's not a
Yes.
fucking man. I'm sorry for swearing, but there's not a one man except for Otto.
Otto was the only guy who
Only
didn't
one.
cry, Nadia. You know this. Oh my god.
Oh,
And Otto's in a box for some reason.
Yeah. Why is he in box? How did that happen?
Why did that happen? So like, no, I don't think I'll be coming back for season 3. There's so many pacing issues with this season, and I understand everybody's like, oh well, the budget. Fuck budget. If you had given me at least one more battle or just an epic battle, just something, just one more to kind of make up for all this filler you've put through this season, I'd forgive you. But the last episode was just so boring. I was like, this cannot be how they're going to end this. So
as far as the comparisons for the complaints about budget goes, this was originally supposed to be 10 episodes. And so this would have been budgeted for 10 episodes. And then
they cut it down to 8.
Yeah, so we should have had more budget. And in addition, we could have easily removed 1.5 crying in hallway scenes per episode, saved what would have equated to an entire episode's worth of time, and turned this season into something where like things happen rather than people talking about things happening.
But didn't we get an aftershoot of a battle? Is season episode 2 or 3 through the
what was that?
So
the
you're telling me
Brackens and the
HBO
Blackwoods.
had to spend probably a couple of days staging this battle, filming shots, and the only thing we got was just the aftermath of the bodies. Go fuck yourself. I'm over it.
Like, it's so weird how that battle starts too, because it's like they have this thing about, I get that there's a bunch of like very young people in this story, like they're teenagers and stuff, but it's literally like these 2 like maybe your balls just drop level guys coming in and insulting each other. They pull out their swords and they're like maybe 3 or 4 retainers that are with them start fighting, and the next thing you know, there's just a battlefield of like dead people, like no context whatsoever. Like, okay.
They did us dirty quite a bit this season. Welcome Christian Mazgagni, another one from our Hillstar. Thanks, Don, for getting it out there. They killed the Don boy. Don,
I didn't watch your stream this past week because I didn't have time. What did you think of the finale?
It was underwhelming a lot, and if anything, I think this is just some of the decisions they made with like the Daemon vision. Like, just makes me think how much they still just want to shoehorn Game of Thrones into this, and it's like, oh, it could just stand on its own. Why don't they just let it stand on its own? And so there's just shots in there that just really, I don't like that part of it. I guess I should say first, and then the other parts, I would have an issue with the pacing. A lot of the story decisions. If this was following the book, I'm trying to think like if this was following the book to a T, right? I would still say there's pacing issues, even if I don't like the directions the characters are going. But all that stuff with the directions of the characters, that's not how it is at all in the book for the most part. And the whole Rhaenyra and Alicent, they don't do a lot right in this part of the story, but they want to make them the main characters. So that way we need to create arcs for them to make them interesting. So they're not just like passive sidekicks and everyone else's plots. So they had to focus more scenes with them, which just took away with potentially developing Cregan Stark, Jace, Aegon more, Aemond more, Daron, show him for
like what
then,
happened to him.
Christian
Oh my god.
Anyways, but they really just want to make this about Alicent versus Rhaenyra and them being the main focus, and it cost the show. Because they could have set up a bunch of stuff, and they could have shown the Battle of the Burning Mill and Stonehenge, and they actually could have seen us take the
Rook's Rest.
Yeah, Rook's Rest. Well, we see Rook's Rest, but what's the one before that? The Stefan Darklands or the Darklands?
Yeah, the Darklands
place, whatever. I don't know if it's Duskendale or what it's. I'm trying to remember. But anyways,
I have a follow-up question for you because you've read the books. So is Dany the prince that's promised? According
no one
to
knows.
Daemon's
we don't
vision?
know.
No, we don't know. We don't know. But that's so I go back and forth because even though the showrunner said that's not what that's supposed to mean, it's just a vision. In my headcanon, I would say that Bloodraven is showing Daemon that Dany or Targaryen is one there. Therefore, he's motivated by it. Because if you show him potentially Jon Snow or the baseball boy Stannis Baratheon, I don't know if Daemon's going to be as motivated.
Nobody can get Stannis the Menace levels of high tea.
To me, it's also a way for them to kind of test the waters. I feel, Martin. This is my conspiracy theory. He's like, let's put it in. Let's test the waters. Let's see what fans think if she's the quote unquote prince that promised. And if there's no backlash, that's the route we're going to go with the books. That's my conspiracy theory on it.
Yeah, that's an interesting. Yeah, I mean, it could be.
It's
honestly,
I don't think it's dumb at all.
No, it's not dumb at all. So, especially with given what they've done this year and forcing those scenes like with Alicent and Rhaenyra at the end, which the scene was okay. People were like, well, they're good actors. Yes, they can read dialogue, and that's super awesome that they can do that. But how Alicent got there and then got out again breaks most of the world building that they've done. Unless Helena's out there with Dreamfire, which she could have been, but then nobody notices the dragons coming and going. I don't understand how that could possibly work. So we'll get into that later. But I want to say hi to some people who are new here. Thanks, who have followed us over from our Hiltzer. We got a lot of people here tonight, which is fantastic. So we got Child of the Flower. I should have been golfing with the other Reach Lords. I like that. Sleeping with 20-year-olds and sipping on Arbor wine as both factions to each other.
I love that.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
There you go.
I would love, I don't know what that is, Rebeldy? Not sure. But hey, Monkey Jeebus, we got Raw Thunderheart here. Thanks for coming by. Down there. It was the Spider. And thank you for your super chat. So, Christian, this is actually your boy Dawn's theme song here.
Hell yeah. Bring it on. Let's do it. This song.
This is a custom one. This is for you.
Watch
Christian.
your ears.
It's about Dawn. Yeah, it is loud.
Beta male, not an alpha male. Beta male, yes. Beta male, you're a beta male. You're a beta male, not an alpha male. Beta, what a shame. Mommy's boy.
I love
We
that.
needed that for every episode of House of Dragon when we were reviewing it. Yeah.
And I'm just gonna shout out for all the Bloodraven lovers out in the chat. Like, yeah, Bloodraven's way better than Pycelle. He flew up his ass any day.
I want to make a Pornhub version of that with Jizz Raven.
Bloodraven just sounds like a really bad period, like a nickname for a really bad period.
The Blood Raven has flown over the roof.
Bloodraven is here. Don't talk to me.
Oh, Tim, hope you're feeling better, dude. Get your rest. Michael Olson. Finally, yes, thanks for coming, Michael Olson. Great to see you here. Gadfly, what's up, Gadfly? I expect Gurm to pull Ultimate Subversion and have the prince that was promised be the doom of the world instead now. He could, and he's a troll too. Like people forget he's a troll.
Yeah.
So he could be messing with us the entire time.
Yeah.
Man, this season even pushed me off from reading the books. I don't know if I want to invest in this world anymore. I don't know.
I mean, in fairness, and what I keep, what I'm going to keep pushing on you is this portion is only like a 4-hour audiobook. Like,
Sweet Robin spinoff.
Yeah. You can rep it out in an afternoon.
But I mean, the series just in general, because isn't there like still 3 more books to go to end it?
I think 2. But...
2, so he says.
And it's like, what, 14 years now since the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, he's going to die before they release that last one.
Yeah, I'm like,
Yes,
why am I investing in a series that's going to give me blue balls? Like,
because they feel pretty good.
Oh, Dawn, you hated it. You love 3-Eyed Raven. Is that true, Don?
No, Christian, you're about to get banned in the chat. Start spreading shit like that. That's treasonous talk,
Killed
and
the
treason is
Dawn Boy?
treason, as we all know.
Treason is treason. Oh, Jana's here too. This stream better than Hot Deal. Thank you, Jana.
Thanks, Jana. We love you.
I agree. And this we'll play a little bit of a long one for all of you for that. So thank you, Christian and Jana.
This is you as an All-American and a big opportunity for you in Hollywood. You must have had to beat off a lot of American men to get this part. Why does that make you giggle? Did you not have to beat them off?
You
With a
had
big
to get
stick?
them.
Also, I have another theory.
Oh, go.
Go for it.
So, House of Dragon season 1, pretty good, right? Everybody, I understand book readers had issues, but
Hopeful.
overall, pretty good. Season 2's in the crapper. Season 1 of Rings of Powers was horrible. Season 2 might be good. Maybe they
No.
maybe they switched. I'm just saying.
No.
They could have.
It's
Who knows?
It's funny.
Eminem.
The exact same reasons that Rings of Power season 1 is shit is sort of the exact same reason that House of the Dragon season 2 is shit. And there's been zero indication that Amazon has any plans to undo sort of the logistical reasons behind it that makes these shows shit. Like, I mean, the Entertainment Weekly spread released today was one of the most distressing ad campaigns I've ever seen for a television show.
I'm just saying the promos for House of Dragon season 2 were pretty good, and then we got a shit show. It might be the opposite. Everything's bad, but it might recover this season. I don't know. I don't fucking care. But
You know what? After reading the Silmarillion, there are so many like high T, like alpha and sigma males in the show. Like some of the elves, like Fangolfin and like Feanor, like they're so badass. Like, and they're just not even in the show. And the ones that are just like neutered, get Liberace elf, like ugh,
Something
gross.
Liberace.
Yeah.
wow.
Who was that guy? It was like
Don Lemonless?
yeah,
Don Lemonless.
Lemonless.
Make the bad man
Eminem.
I'm just saying, mark it
Person.
here. And when that first episode released and everybody starts praising the show, like, oh, they really listen, just say I said it first here.
Nadia, what amount of money and what odds would 100 to 1 odds
I don't care.
cover it?
No. I watched like an episode and a half of the first season. I was like, this is just boring. Take out Lord of the Rings. This is just boring. I'm out.
So this is the scene we were talking about before about how Aemond obviously just burns up and kills Sunfyre. Well, spoiler.
Sunflower.
Sunfyre, we don't know what happened with Sunfyre. But we know in the book. We know in the book. We know how it works. He appears to be dead in the show. Aegon though is not. So this is brother to the rescue, right? Gonna save his brother in front of everyone. Here he comes. Bank the goods.
Just got it.
You ready?
Oh, that's such an ugly dragon, man.
I
It
know.
is an ugly
She
dragon.
looks so bad.
And then he watched them
Yeah.
fall the whole way.
But in defense, her
Yeah.
dragon was there too. So
Sure.
it could look like
Yeah.
he was trying to get the other one away. So I don't know. Your issue has a little bit of holes, Zach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't look for excuses for horrible mistakes.
Yeah, I feel like it's just they try really, really hard to do the like Daemon against Viserys and then Aemond against Aegon and like Rhaenys against Rhaenyra, and it's just silly. I mean, think about like I think the Daemon versus Rhaenyra thing is so stupid because it's like, okay, if you're thinking logically, how much higher could Daemon climb? Like, what is open to him? He's married to Rhaenyra, and Rhaenyra, he's like basically, you know, in the book, he's like the military strategist, the one that's in charge of like making these decisions and keeps her from doing some really stupid things. And there's just there's no motivation for him to want to try to usurp her, like in front of her, like right in front of her. And what's the same with Aemond too? It's like his brother is injured. I mean, he's in charge. What more does he want? Like, he can just wait. But I don't know.
It's a dumb move. It's a move that, puts him in the lead or puts him closer to the throne, but overall, does it really? That's not the time and place to do that. Take out your own dragon when you're in a war currently. You kind of need them. So yeah, I mean, you could play it off as an accident, but I don't think anyone thought it was an accident. And then he let him fall. He could have caught him.
Yeah.
No, I actually disagree. If you're going to do this, he can't live.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're going to sacrifice a dragon on your team to get Aegon out of the way, Aegon's got to die.
Right. Yeah. And he went there to kind of finish the deal, it looked like, but he got interrupted by the
Cool.
beta boy.
He should have just killed him too.
Kristen Simp.
He's probably thinking about Fat Roz and crying.
I'm going to put up some the art from the illustrated version of the book while we're talking, because there's some cool stuff here. That
look at that, the Kingmaker, the real one, Kristen Cole.
Yep.
I hope they give him a redemption arc. If they actually are good at writing, they've kind of set up the second half, or at least, the second half of Kristen Cole's arc this episode, or excuse me, this season, was him kind of, I don't know, having a lot of self-reflection and not so much hatred towards others. I like his talk at during this episode, the final episode. I mean, could you imagine being a victim of a war like that? It's almost like the World War I shock when they had industrialized such high caliber weapons.
Yeah.
I liked that scene. I think that was one of the better scenes, maybe the best one in the episode. It just didn't really. I think that for him, he's been so kind of ruined for me so far that I would like to believe that they're going to do something better with him, or at least more interesting with him, and I just don't know if I think that's going to happen. So yeah, I'll put these through as we're talking. I'll try to avoid spoiler ones because there are spoiler ones, but the idea is Kristen Cole is the Kingmaker, and he really is the Kingmaker, and he's the one who tells Aegon, like, you're going to take the crown. On your knees, boy.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is that is the mustache of a man who married his sister.
And I love every inch of it. I love Aegon with the mustache. Makes him different than all these other Targaryen kings too. I guess Viserys had a mustache too, but
how do you keep all the Aegons straight? Because isn't there like 6 or 7 Aegons?
I mean, we end up with Aegon the
There's
Third.
good Aegon,
5
lame
Aegons.
Aegon, and baby Aegon.
Baby.
There's even more Aegons. They're just not.
They're not relevant. We don't.
And then you get to
right.
Jon Snow, who's technically an Aegon. So
Like Jaehaerys's oldest brother was an Aegon, I believe,
Mhm.
right? That's the one
Yeah.
Maegor killed. I
Yeah.
think, right?
Maegor was such a Chad dude. He had so many wives.
Base Maegor.
IJP is calling me out here for missing super chats, and I don't like to do that. So thank you, IJP. Treason is treason. Bloodraven over Pycelle.
Well,
Christian?
Bloodraven.
Christian Miscagni. Sounds Italian.
Muscagni.
Based.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about Christian's heritage because I'm going to
Okay.
get upset.
Make the band fly. Hot take, Helena MVP. Yeah, I want thoughts.
There was one way that Helena could have been the MVP of episode 8.
How, babe?
If she had jumped off that tower.
Yeah, I thought, that could have done it.
No, it would have taken Aemond Targaryen grabbing her by the scruff of her neck and throwing her off the tower.
I wanted that so bad.
Don, what are you covering up now?
It in.
Christian, what are you covering up? Don.
Oh, the Kristen Cole, that he liked Kristen Cole in this episode. He's like, oh, Don can't have the same thought as me, and I'm Italian, I'm Christian. Shut up, Christian. You're going to get banned from the chat.
I liked him in the episode. I just overall, I don't really believe in him anymore because of how they've treated him so far. I don't know why I would think these writers would do better with him because they haven't. Yeah. Smash the like button.
If you've slept with only 2 women in your entire life and both of them have aborted your kid, I'm sorry.
Wait.
I have a
who
hard
was
time
that? Aemond?
assuming you're a
Christian
winner.
Cole.
Christian Cole. Who? Oh, yeah. Oh, Rhaenyra. Yeah.
I'm going to, Kristen, I'm going to give you a very special Tito Ortiz clip.
Now, is it true you're coming back in the fall, though, that the fight will be in the fall?
Yes, it'll be in April. I start camp probably around in the beginning of July. So, you know, I'll have another long camp as always. But
April?
yeah, I mean,
Do you mean October or?
October. Yeah, October. Now I said I meant October. Did I say April?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. It's a little early for me still.
Yeah. All
Okay,
good.
good. Yeah.
The wordsmith himself.
Oh, that in a vacuum. That's not a bad clip. He said the one wrong month.
Yeah.
Everything else tracks. His other
True,
clips
true.
are completely insane.
Like juicy
What's
juice
wrong
box.
with that guy? Is it
Yes.
just like he's just a boxer and he's just been like hit a few times, or?
It's CTE. So this is one of my favorite ones he's
okay.
done, but it's controversial because, well, I don't care.
I have a few gay friends, and they're over 18. I have no problem with it. And once again, if you're 18 and over, that's your decision. That's your decision. But do not push it on my children. Because kids can't even learn how to brush their teeth. They don't want to put on deodorant, or they don't want to wipe their own ass the right way unless you show them the right way. Now all of a sudden you're going to teach my children how to be a sexual predator? And I'm going to say that because most are.
Damn, Cheeto's spicy.
Spicy.
That pause is so funny.
Because most are.
Yeah, he doesn't know what to do there with that. Stunning and brave. Yeah, most gay people. Okay, I mean if that's what you say. So the episode 4 I thought was the best because it had the most action in it, even though the action
Something happened. So
Yeah.
just-
didn't make a ton of sense. Dawn, do you have a favorite episode from the season? If you had to pick one, and you do.
I feel like 4 is the easy pick, right, for everybody.
Yeah.
But I actually liked episode 2 a lot more than episode 1. Well, a lot more than episode 1. And I'm trying to think of the other episode I liked. I liked episode 7, but I think 2 is probably my favorite. I love the brothers, the Cargills going at each
Oh
other.
yeah, I like the actors on that. Like so good.
Mhm.
They were really, really good. They were not used.
Well, that depiction of that fight is great, and it goes almost identical to the book. They made it a little more dramatic, but that
Mhm.
benefits the scene. It doesn't take anything away from it. It just adds more to it, I think.
Yeah.
Unlike other scenes where they decide just whole cloth change, motivations and stuff like that. That's where I'm like,
I wish that they would have just had the guy show up at the castle, not have Mysaria be like, "Hey, like, wait," and then she doesn't say anything.
Yeah. God damn it! I hate to agree with Christian Mascaguni here, but
Let's only mispronounce his name.
Aegon crushed episodes 1 and 2. I agree, man. Like, I was like, finally, somebody has some emotion. Somebody's like, "Oh, you killed my kid. I'm fucking pissed off." Like, damn.
I think he crushed episode 8 too, if you're going to give anyone credit for crushing that episode.
Somebody's talking about his dick being like a sausage. Like, we need to intercut that part with like Ramsay Bolton in there. Like, it's just like.
I like how like open mutilation of genitals is now funny. It's like comedy.
It's all
That's
about
hilarious.
this season. We didn't get any boobs. It was just
No
all dick.
shit, just nasty,
Yeah.
like guys getting blown in the shop, like fat Raws, like naked,
And I think-
Aemond crying. Ugh.
And I think Lady B can agree with me. Even as a woman, I would rather look at tits than, instead of a sausage in my face. So
Yeah. Especially if somebody's nasty flaccid dick too. I'm sorry.
Hey, don't talk about Dawn like that.
Sorry, Dawn.
no offense taken.
Ooh, who's this hottie dragon?
There's some boobs, mate.
There's
Oh, what's
Vhagar.
that? Like Maegor, yeah, Maegor.
Wow,
Oh.
Big Daddy Megor. Let's go.
It's got a bit of a Kevin Nash thing going. Thanks for subscribing, Christian. Awesome. Thank you so much. I think they made Loras less creepy, and his scenes with Aegon were really good. Yeah, I did think that. I think that that actually worked well. This episode 8 for me. I thought it worked.
is it weird that we didn't get another foot scene at all? We only ever got one.
That is weird.
Well, it's
Like,
weird.
He came cruising for feet, but Allison shut him down.
Yeah.
Like, she just finished yeeting Christian Cole's baby, and he was like, "So about them tootsies, them piggies," and she was like, "No, we're not doing this right now."
Is that what happened? Like,
Yeah.
Dawn,
What's
you love
that?
feet.
I actually notoriously hate feet. So I'm super glad that they got away from that storyline. It's just so unneeded. Like, can you imagine in the writers' room as they're like discussing like what they want to make differences for, from the Fire and Blood to now House of the Dragon, and someone throws out the suggestion like, "Oh, the clubfoot guy. Well, what if he's obsessed with feet?" It's like you should be shot in the head for
Galaxy brain shit there.
brain dead addition to the story. I hate it. Makes me angry, and I hate feet. So it's just like
Me too.
a great
honestly.
association with my emotions right now.
Do you think that was really like his thing?
No.
Or was that just a power trip that he was doing with her?
Okay, so I actually have
No.
a theory about this. Okay,
Yeah.
he doesn't like it, but he was like trying to get Alicent like to give like maybe sex, whatever, but he has to pretend he likes the feet because she's like, "Oh, fine, I'll give you my feet," and he's like, "You want me to like jerk off?" Like, what am I supposed to just look at him? I'm not gonna put him in my mouth. So he's been faking it this whole time. That's my theory. So he's faking orgasms to hopefully get the big Alicent thick tower cake on his face. Hopefully, one can dream, right?
I mean, it worked, right? It's embarrassing too. Like, you don't want to be, yeah, he wanted to see my feet and I showed it to him. It's almost worse than anything else not almost worse. I mean, it's close, but he's competing with our boy Daemon, who has trouble finishing, period.
Oh, I know. I think that's probably one of my least favorite changes is this whole like Daemon is impotent bullshit storyline. Come on.
Well, Don, you were there. Was he impotent or could he just not finish?
Funny enough, we have a video on this on our channel. Daemon retention grind set. We go over the reason why he's holding it in, and if anything, he's great. He's
Don't steal my
charging up
grill.
his energy.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. He's ascending to Hyperborea.
We don't have that here.
He's
Are we
in
feeling the
mine.
worst? True. Yeah, I think it's a power trip thing now in hindsight because, like what Will said, it never came back. So I thought this
Yeah.
was going to come back in this season, and it just never did. And he didn't even seem to want it to. Like maybe he really didn't like her feet. That could be part. That's that's even worse,
She
isn't
had
it?
gross
Okay,
feet.
so
Yeah.
imagine if
But
you.
I mean, there was no other like scenes with other people with feet that he was like, maybe he hires a whore and's like, just show me your feet. Like, we didn't even get that.
yeah.
True. Hey, Gopa, thanks for the raid earlier, dude. I miss foot fetish Laris. I think we all do. Scott, everyone here in the chat is now loving a Scott Steiner. And we all love Scott Steiner, for sure. But I don't believe Janet really loves him for who he is inside. Maegor did nothing wrong.
Steiner.
Yeah.
Persephone,
True.
we will get into that maybe later on in a different episode, but there's a lot of people who would agree with that. If not for him, right, he did what he had to do, and it was sometimes messy, but I mean, all these people are kind of messy, and that was like the episode prior where she gets her army of dragon riders, and it's like every other person died who didn't get a dragon, and that's messy, but it was a speed bump for them, for everyone else, even though everyone knew where they were going, so their families knew what was happening. It's not a big secret, and just that's it. Never came up, like the hanging all of the rat catchers, just never led to anything.
I feel like dead is like at least understandable. Like it's something you just do out of anger, and it's like very medieval. That seemed to make more sense than a lot of stuff that happened in the show.
Yeah. Plus, it gave Aemond the moment of, cut them down. We are done with fucking
True.
child bullshit.
Yeah. I wish they would have made it more clear when he's like, "I'm gonna kill all the rat catchers within the Red Keep area." It's also to like make sure no one is able to get back into the.
Yeah, I mean it's
Red
not
Keep as well.
completely like some batshit idea that comes out of nowhere. It's like I think one of the things that surprised me from reading Fire and Blood and all of A Song of Ice and Fire is like everybody like eventually finds out about the tunnels, but nobody's ever done anything. Like these are a problem, and the only place that there aren't the tunnels is like in Maegor's Holdfast, and we're just like, okay, we need to take care of this, but nobody ever does.
That's a good point, because that really bothered me actually watching the show, that you could so easily just wander around everyone's bedroom, like inside the keep like that. There's those, and those were not like tiny tunnels. It was like giant staircases. Everyone must know they exist, and why you would allow people access like that, and there's no guards anywhere. That's actually ridiculous, and it breaks, for me, that kind of stuff breaks immersion. And it's not hard to fix that. You just have to make it look like it's difficult to find, and maybe there's some secret to it, but there really isn't. It's just this. It's like a giant dome full of stairs. You walk up, and there's no shortage of space, and people are like passing through. I don't understand why you'd set up a keep like that.
That and the fact that Rhaenyra and Alicent can sneak in and out of King's Landing with like no problem whatsoever. And Daemon,
Daemon too. He's a freaking like prince of the city. Like all the gold cloaks know him. All the whores on the street of Silk know his name and his dick. Like, come on, what? How did this guy get in? That just like killed it for me.
I will rant about that soon too. But also, I put a poll in the chat here, and it's just Alicent smash or pass, but she keeps her socks on. That's the only caveat there. So with her socks on, smash or pass, Alicent.
So you're gonna follow it up with a different one, Alicent, but she takes her socks off.
Alicent feet only is next. Yeah, feet only is next. 75% right now for smash or pass. Lady B, Alicent, socks on.
Hell yeah, she's hot. Pretty. Very pretty.
There you go. Will?
Not with the socks on.
Newly married Will?
Not with the socks on.
No socks.
Can't be doing it.
Boy.
It's enough gay if you wear socks.
The smaller the better cope. I want her to be. I don't even want her to be able to stand. That's, you know what? I think that's good. That's good dating criteria. Christian, Daemon had 2 kids with 2 women. Come on. No, he did come on a few times. And he just couldn't. He couldn't come in other times. That's all. So, inconsistency. And I get it. Maybe it plays with your head. Miss Smart Muse, is great to see you. She is an expert on all of this lore as well. You're a wrestling fan. I got to admit. Shut up, Christian.
Bro.
You got to manage Scott Steiner, Big Papa Pump?
Yeah.
Paula, if you hear me.
Explanation.
Is this a wrestler?
You got to have him on like a Circle of Jerks or another, what's it called? What's Good? Because he legit.
Shit.
The other night he sent me like a bunch of wrestling videos he had where he was being a heel in something.
You're a wrestler, Christian?
Well, he's a lawyer that poses as a wrestler. Correct me if I'm wrong, Christian.
That's fucking awesome. Yeah, I'm a wrestling fan. Yeah, I am. And Scott Steiner, I mean, you shouldn't have to be a wrestling fan to be a fan of Steiner, but he had some of the best promos of all time. And he would make a great Kingsguard in his prime.
Yeah.
In his prime. That's the other thing with the Kingsguard. Okay, so I had an issue this season with the Kingsguard and how they kept being replaced. And then there was the episode 6 where we get Alicent escaping with Helena, and they blame it on the Kingsguard guy after cutting someone's arm off. I guess it's their fault for starting that big fight. But if you guys will remember, when that episode was ending, or after Alicent and Helena were gone, what did you think the fate of the Kingsguard involved was? Because the last thing we see is them being dragged to the ground, and then one guy stabbing one of them. You see the knife up and down. I thought, okay, well, I assume these Kingsguard are dead, because, well, how else could this fight end if they're on the ground getting stabbed? It's kind of done.
Yeah.
And that would be Alison's fault to an extent for saying you can't use your swords anymore. And it's their fault for being shitty Kingsguard, but even still, you have to address it later. But then they addressed it the next episode by having them being fine and being sent to the wall. Did you guys catch any of that?
I'm totally lost of what you were saying.
Where do we even
I'll find a clip.
So you're talking about the Kingsguard that were in the middle of that little riot that like fell to the ground. How did they get out?
Yeah.
And I have no idea. I think that just goes to the people of King's Landing, mostly Flea Bottom, the low IQ people that live down there. It's a really dangerous place down there, and there's not a lot of good people. Not a lot of them.
Yeah, they're bad stabbers.
Okay, can we just start with the thing that happens even before that? There's a riot outside. You're in the Sept, and remember that there's some kind of secret entryway into the Sept because that's where they dumped Aegon that one time. So there's like probably some secret way to get out. And the first thing that they tell Alicent is, "You need to go outside of the Sept and go back to the castle." Like,
dude, we had some U.S. Secret Service.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Get up on the stage. Like,
Yeah, that's true. That was pretty.
They won't attack you. There's a sloped roof.
The only good thing I will say is that fucking Aemond
Gooch.
said, yeah, no, if Alicent gets hurt while you're on duty, you're out of here, guys. You're done. Aemond's kingdom has accountability.
Ooh. I like accountability. There's nothing wrong with that. And Persephone. Leave to the government, know what a problem, do nothing about it. Yeah, very much true. That's very much true.
They made a problem.
We'll get you in there,
Problem,
Christian.
reaction, solution.
So this is what I'm talking about, this scene. So this is is it a nitpick? I don't know, but it's the fate of people who I assume are dead, who are then just ignored, and then they're absolutely fine. So this is one of the guys, he's taken to the ground already. The other two are still seem to be up, but this is not a good, if you're a knight and you're on the ground and a mob is trying to kill you, you're probably not getting up. And so I presumed from this scene that these guys were all dead, and that may or may not be reckoned with later, because this show just ignores shit sometimes. But what you can see when she looks back, look, she's like, oh, what's happening to those guys? I thought this was important that they showed us this for a reason, because you can see this one of them is being stabbed. This guy's got a knife in his hand.
Yeah.
Up and down. So, see? So he's stabbing the guy on the ground. Hate to be the, hey, am I the new Joe Rogan for breaking down fights? Smash. Say smash if I'm the new Joe Rogan.
Smash.
So this guy should be dead, clearly. And the other guy, one guy's still left standing. This guy's still standing. The other guy looks like he's doing
Still
okay,
standing.
but
Great sitcom.
also great sitcom, but they're being overwhelmed, and that's why she looks back to see them and she leaves them. That's what I took that to mean, that she's abandoning them to their fate, but they're actually fine. The next episode.
Yeah,
So
and
is it-
if anything, that scene's supposed to show like, oh wow, they will kill people.
Yeah.
At the chance they can, and then turns out, yeah, like you said, they're fine. So maybe they're not as lethal. Seen as no impact.
So real quick, I vaguely recollect in the next episode, Aemond only is giving the business to 2 Kingsguard. Is it possible that the one on the ground is dead and the one that he's given the business to are the ones that get fired?
For sure, that's possible. It could be that, but I would expect that they would still address the
They
one
would
who's
talk about the fact that we
Right.
lost one of the 7.
Yeah, your buddy's dead. That totally sucks, right? Like a line, something like that would work. Or also, you guys are lucky to be alive, unlike your friend. But they weren't not just alive; they were fine. Like they just woke up in the morning, put their armor on, and were exiled. So I don't know. Like, why taking it on so easily? Yeah, he did. He's a pussy.
Yeah,
He's
what-
not a good. These were not good Kingsguard anyway.
It'd be kind of interesting or like more impactful if they came back and they were actually like injured, but for some reason Aemond made them stand for their crimes right then. They're like, my prince, I'm hurting a lot. He's like, too bad, you're gonna get sent to the wall.
Yeah.
That would suck.
Well, and I'm not like being a nitpicky asshole for this stuff, but like you showed me this I thought for a reason. And because I'm giving the benefit of the doubt, I want to follow the show and go, oh, how is this going to be paid off? And it's just ignored, almost like they kind of forgot
Everything.
that it happened.
Yeah.
And so to me, that's not a nitpick. That's bad writing.
Inconsistencies. Kind of like one thing that really got me is the fact that, first of all, there's a blockade, like Corlys Valyrian blockades King's Landing. They don't talk about this for a really, really long time. Like it gets mentioned once, and then you get this stupid point in time where like Rhaenyra hears from Mysaria saying like, "Oh, all the small folk are angry and they're starving and stuff because there's no food and they can't leave the city." And then Rhaenyra's like, "Oh, we gotta send them food," and I'm like, "Bitch, it's your fucking blockade that's causing them all these problems. Like sending food is not making it better. Just lift the blockade. Like they're not so dumb that they wouldn't know that you caused this." I don't know.
And there's issues with that anyway, because you have to consider that the city was supposed to be sealed. So how are those people out there on the beach picking clams?
Yeah.
when did I miss Dawn? Honestly, did I miss them unsealing the city? Like, did they change that?
No, I'm pretty sure it's still sealed. That's the reason why the Dragonseeds got out was through the boat, right?
Right.
I know, and then the whole like, let's get Dragonseeds. That was silly too.
OVW.
If I was going to be a
Sorry,
to pitch the defense of it, I would say they sealed the gates so that people couldn't run out of the city, and they they left the docks and the beaches open because they need to fish to feed the people that are starving. So, maybe they just didn't seal the waterways and just kind of assumed that anybody with a big enough ship was either gone or there wasn't anywhere to go because of the blockade. So they didn't have to worry about people escaping overseas. Would be the
mud gate might be open.
My devil's advocate argument for that.
Yeah.
Oh, this show just sucks.
Yes, and I think we might even be focusing on the wrong things here.
Yeah, it's just a small problem.
The far more critical issue of this show is that nothing ever fucking happens.
Yeah.
And that our characters don't go on character arcs or journeys. They stay in the same spot. And they do stupid emotional climax of the season. You don't get a climax of the season with a battle or anything like that. You get an emotional climax where Alys and Rhaenyra talk to each other for fucking 12 literal minutes.
And a conversation that should not happen. There's no way that conversation. The amount of sneaking back and forth to have these talks.
I know.
It's obscene.
Like the first time, like Rhaenyra does it, it's like you're asking Alys to like, is there some way we can do? I'm like, yeah, there's one thing that you could do to make this better, Rhaenyra, and that's to renounce your claim. That'll stop everything.
Right, true.
Like,
Yep.
And what did Alys then expect her to say? And then the next thing she comes with, okay, in 3 days, I'm going to open the city and I'm going to let you into the castle to kill my kids. Like, what?
Because she's an awful mother. She's a piece of shit mother. She has not been a decent mother at all.
Because you know what, Rhaenyra? I hated your dad and I didn't want to have his kids and I really just wanted to be in love with you and like ride dragons and eat cake. I'm just like, I heard that. I'm just like, shut up.
And people can argue that Helena is her favorite, and maybe so, but anytime she would go to Helena during the first couple of episodes, it was all about herself asking for forgiveness or having somebody forgive her, not caring about her actual daughter just losing her child and what happened in front of her. She's like, no, somebody needs to forgive me for being a shitty mom and, fucking Christian Cole and stuff.
Yeah. I totally called it. Like so fun story. Like after our wedding, we had a bunch of our kind of nerdy friends and we had like Prophet of the Dragon, Gadfly, one of our friends, and then Will and myself. We were all watching episode 7 together, and it got quite heated, and it was so funny, and it was all the same thing people were saying. We were all just sort of like, why? But I called it. I said Jace was gonna cry in this episode, in that episode, and I was so right.
Yeah, we started taking bets midway through the season as to which male characters were going to cry in the night's episode.
Dawn?
If everything happened the same as in like story beats or characters and scenes or just scene locations, or I'm trying to think of basically no more additional action scenes. So there doesn't seem like to be that much going on. I still think this season could have worked with the budget and the scenes they did. They would have just had to write the scenes better and make me be more tension filled for some of them, and the character development to actually be believable, because it felt like even though we had so many talking scenes, Aemond's turn did seem abrupt, right? I don't know about anybody else.
Yes,
and then I think Daemon has the most believable arc in this, is because they took time with him. But anybody else like Alicent and Helena and Rhaenyra, they're almost like some of the exact opposite. Too much time with one and not enough time with the other, and I don't like the way they're depicting any of those women.
Yeah, I keep seeing that Daemon had an arc.
Yeah.
Daemon ended up the exact same person at the beginning of the season that he was at the end of this season.
Well,
And
I would argue he was way low T.
he was gayer at the end of the season than at the beginning of the season.
Yes. Sorry, go ahead.
And it's like we wasted so much time with Daemon, only for him to still end up on Team Rhaenyra at the end. And you know, we spent all this time with him, showing him these fake visions, only for him to rapidly pivot at the end with another vision. But this time the vision is for real because the audience recognizes Daenerys in the vision. Like, that's...
But we're on Italy in the chat. I'm enjoying that very much. Keep it going.
Yeah, no, it's just... I feel like Daemon didn't have an arc. Daemon treaded water.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he's not supposed to be doing anything during that time. And he was never... I mean, it's in the book, he was not making his own army at any point. And so that all of that was just to give him something to do because he's most people's favorite character on the show. And they had nothing for him to do. So they didn't want to shake things up too much. But in the process, they still kind of did. And like none of that, all of that was a waste of time. And him following Alys around was like kind of pathetic. Like he was
so annoying too.
Simp level. Yeah. And she had a jaw that could cut glass, which I appreciate, but like I don't know why when
you a Vhagar, like what the hell?
Well, in the middle of the night, he's got to follow her to the tree. Like he wakes up. Oh, I guess we're going for a walk now. He's not badass Daemon. This is actually this is art. Hold on.
Uh-oh. I think Daemon had a little bit of an arc. I wouldn't say he's a complete.
That's what happens when you use a chip clip for your microphone stand. It doesn't always work.
That's always with me and my like Jenga tower of like camera stuff that George usually jocks over.
I like what Forsaken said. His arc was to go full sip.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, he did go full sip. This is blood and cheese. So this is what it should have looked like more so than what we got.
Yeah, because isn't there a third kid?
Yeah, yes. Maelor the Missing,
which George did
said.
lampshade for us.
Speaking of weird lore changes, how did you guys feel about making Helena like a green seer too?
I have no idea what that is.
Done.
It kind of makes sense that she might have that power potential because High Towers, I think they have blood of the first men. They're kind of one of those houses that didn't come to prominence. They came to prominence before the Andal. They were there before the Andals, basically, right? So yeah, I think they have blood of the first men. So it makes sense why Helena would, and potentially not Rhaenyra, who's kind of very distilled Valyrian blood. But like the best green seers are the ones that have old and Valyrian blood, right? The old of the blood of the first men and Valyrian.
I don't know, but it doesn't manifest as like I have dragon dreams and like super autism, seeing powers, and then like.
Yeah, I'm confused by that. No, I'm still confused by it. I think there's enough connections for them to justify it lore-wise, but again, this is not going to mean anything. It's not going to be anyway connected to. I mean, God willing, it's not going to be hugely connected. Is there just a Weirwood of like? I'm confused now because like, who was before Bloodraven?
Yeah, I don't know.
Was he the first? And if so, he's just reaching back through Helena. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's confusing.
A girl did it first, dude. Don't you know how this works? A girl
always is Blood Raven. Oh my god, I hate that.
But Nadia hasn't read the books. So when you saw that guy with the stain on his face through Daemon's visions, what'd you think of that? Did it make sense at all?
None of it made sense. I just assumed because he had blonde hair that he was just a line in the Targaryen family at some point. The weirdest thing in that vision for me was the Knight General with it. Even though I just saw that they did it as practical effects. Yeah, no, it's supposed to be a Knight General. That's what they said, and they squished its face to look like it was weird. It was very weird from what I saw the behind the scenes photos to what they utilized on screen. Almost very like Beetlejuice looking scrunched head.
No bueno, not good look.
No.
And I don't know why they made him look so much like, because if you actually look at him, it almost seems like someone's cosplaying as the Night King.
Yeah.
I think they could have made a just very distinct looking one, and it felt like the makeup looked so cheap. But yeah, like you see behind the scenes, like Nadia said, it actually doesn't look too bad in some still photos. But when it's moving, it was yikes. And hold on, but why even show the whites or the White Walkers? You could just show whites,
Yeah.
right? People with their eyes blue. Just kind of like waking up from the dead. Like that's creepier than this like Marilyn Manson motherfucker walking through the forest, you know?
So then
Gotta jangle them keys, man.
I felt like there's just member berries everywhere.
What's the relevance of the kid with the blood across the face or smearing the stuff across his face?
Oh, it's Blood Raven, my boy.
That's okay.
You meet him in Game of Thrones. He looks completely different. He's played by Max von Sydow, whatever. He's the one that talks to Bran.
He's ancient.
But he looks completely different. And for Daemon, he doesn't even need to see that. Why would he have to? Why would the puppet master have to show that he's there to then just show Daemon the ways in which he wants to pull him? Right?
Yeah.
Doesn't
And
make
it
sense.
just gives away.
Now you want me.
Now
Now
everything
want to
between
read
Helena
these
and the
books.
Vision.
Like
Yes, read it, please. It's good.
This discussion right here, like telling me these things, like, oh, that sounds exciting. I want to read these instead of this.
Yes, good.
bullshit
Read it,
TV show.
please. Do not judge book by its adaptation, please.
And what's good too is the Duncan Egg series,
Duncan
which
Egg
has Blood Raven and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a TV show of that. So yeah.
But do you have faith in it versus what we just saw for season 2 of this?
No.
Well, no, probably not. But it's completely different. It's the story's already paced out for them, so they hopefully aren't going to milk it more than it has to be. And no matter what, even if the series and TV shows completely suck, I'm still going to be a fan of this George R. R. Martin.
Yeah, me too.
whatever
I like the
canon
book a
universe.
lot. I'll probably still watch it just out of morbid curiosity. Like,
All right, I'll read the books in the order Kayla sent me. I'll do it.
All
What
right,
was your order?
Christian, you win.
Oh.
You win, Christian. So yeah, I've kind of missed some of your super chats, and I want to make that up to you. I do need to do better with that. So we got some from you here, and it's if we start talking wrestling, I have great stories. If anyone cares, I do care. I love talking wrestling. I will bug you. I don't want to hijack the show, and I mean it's too late now, but I appreciate the sentiment. And the $4.99, that's awesome. Thank you so much, dude. Did you all even watch the show? Yes, we watched the show, but now here's the show that you've been asking for. This is what the ladies want to see. Scott Steiner is the greatest talker in history. Shout out to Sacramento. Yeah, I didn't think this was going to happen
that's so awesome.
tonight, but here we are. Hey, Forsaken.
Big time.
He is fat. Yeah.
I
There you
like
go.
his dry fury, like facial hair too. That's beautiful.
That was peak like 98, wasn't it? Something like that. 88, 98, 99. That was yeah, back in the day. There you go. Fat. Missed it.
Fat?
Now,
Who's
now we've become a
fat?
wrestling. We've become a wrestling show now. So
I wish
Christian,
that
yeah, you didn't
was-
derail it at all.
Fat. I wish Rhaenyra was fat. Would
Oh God,
Oh.
fat Rhaenyra, bring it on.
Why are they body shame? They don't want to show our sympathetic hero as a fat woman. Is
It's
that
like you
what's
can
going
have
on?
any kind of diversity. We can race swap till the cows come home, but God forbid we have like a body positive character.
I felt like Rhaenyra this season was too skinny, almost.
Yeah.
Like her clothing
Yeah.
was a little baggy. It almost sickly looking to me.
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, if she doesn't come back looking like fat bastard, I'm out.
I think she did a decent, like she did a much better job than I think she could do. And when you see her in public and her what she
Yeah,
actually
there's a
looks like, it's fucking
transformation.
crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
So I'm impressed that she can do at least what she's doing. But yeah, she doesn't. Rhaenyra's supposed to be a bit of a thickie, but not like if they give us body positive, it would be like 350 pounds, something that maybe like Gator would be attracted to, you know. But
Yes.
for us, give us like under. Well, what does Hunter J say? Under 300?
Yeah, but I think that's negotiating territory for him still.
Yeah. It's a starting place for him for sure. Yeah, I think I have an issue overall with the casting. of a lot of these characters and the way they treated the actors.
Yeah.
I think they've ruined Aemond because he's a skinny little kid. And I was okay with that as long as they kept him dressed. But when they took his clothes off, they had him be curled up in a fetal position in the lap of a prostitute. That's like, you've absolutely flattened the character for me. I've got with the armor on, the sword, the strut, whatever, the eye patch. Okay,
The hair.
Yeah, I could swing it around like he's like a young Hulk Hogan there. But then when you have that scene, you can't take that back. I've seen him as a 115-pound baby boy.
Yep.
And Vhagar's big, and so Vhagar is still scary, but he is not. Like, if he was and in the book, at least the artist representations of him I've had him described, he is someone who you might actually be afraid of in a fight.
Yeah.
And he fights well from when they do let him do that, but he does not look the part.
They emasculated him. That
Absolutely.
was like cutting off his metaphorical dick.
And they had no
Manlet Jace, yeah.
well, there was no way to bring it back. Like he already was borderline, you know, as someone he does not appear to be scary. He's not intimidating really. And the actor is good. So he works the point where you're like, okay, that's all right. But then, I guess I'm a size king now, but he just doesn't have any presence anymore. It's gone.
I could have bought him if they never showed us that horrible scene. I could have bought that he was not like 115 pounds soaking wet.
He didn't have the weight to give. You know, he didn't. They should have kept him dressed, kept him, you know, put him on an apple cart or some shit like Tom Cruise, make us think that he's a badass all the time. So here is from the book, the illustrated version of the book. And it is also the thumbnail, but this guy, compared to everyone else, I could see, he's a bit of a badass, right? He looks like, I think it was 6'3", 6'4", something like that. He can fight, decent armor, big sword. He's not smaller than everyone else around him anyway. So he's at least above average, and he looks intimidating. Got a sneering look, got the big jaw still. You could still do that, but you take his clothes off and you put him in a ball, and there's nothing left there for me. Aegon they made sure to tell us with Aegon that his penis exploded for, I guess,
I laughed out loud. I'm sorry. That was like really funny.
I love unintentional meta commentary about the state of a show. Like, yes, House of the Dragon, you did lose your dick.
Please show TNA clip where he's talking about Samoa Joe. Give me a week, Christian. Give me a week. Your Sinister MVP. There you go.
Yeah, we'll do a Christian show or a wrestling show or something.
I know. I want to hear this guy's stories because, like, wrestling is crazy. I'm not a wrestling fan, but some of the stuff that I've heard from Zax and squad.
Here's a masterclass here for you, Christian.
As you guys get older, is it harder to get your bodies into the shape that's required to go at each other?
Not with me. I mean, I've only been off for a year and a half. I'm only 43 years old. I'm an old mature. I mean, I matured old. Very fast, but at the same time, my body hasn't matured great, just because of my father's really old. My father's 80 years old. My grandmother's 100 years old. So my body is in great shape.
I love Chuck Liddell. Like,
you're
gonna say cut? Like,
what's going on?
You're just gonna let him keep talking?
I'm old, mature. I'm young, old. My dad's very old. What Boozax, Cope? What do you mean Boozax?
Yeah, Boozax. I'm on their side.
Boozax. So Gadfly, you had a comment here I want to put up. Yeah, so Jace, it's true. Manlet Jace. He is supposed to be a strong, keep in mind.
Yeah.
I know, like
we looked this up. The actor is 5'5".
Right. He's my size, guys. That's it. And he has like a little tiny waist.
And he's a strong.
Yeah.
A strong, like
his father was the strongest man in Westeros in that time period, or at least known. Yeah. And also Jace, I just hate that. Why was he down in Dragonstone this whole time? Was there anything we really needed to see him down there for? He could have had a couple episodes up north and came back down during episode 4 or whatever.
Yeah,
but down
getting that dark bastard girl, like he's kind of doing something with that too.
Yeah.
There's no
but-
chemistry between the two of those.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Jesus
yeah,
Christ,
yeah. With
watching
him and like
fucking-
Serena Williams. Oh my
Yeah.
god, gross.
So,
Or is it Venus? I don't know.
I never heard that one. That's the yeah. I mean, that's
She
not
looks
wrong.
like one of those too. Like, I'm sorry. And they're supposed to be twins, and it's like you have one girl is like way the hell darker than the other one. Like, I don't know. That's racist.
It's racist.
Yeah. I mean, they're supposed to be twin girls, and you have somebody that's obviously like half black and like whatever, and then the other one is like, you're not at all. But
And now you're watching The Acolyte, so we're in trouble.
oh God, yeah, I'm racist, whatever.
They had Gadar in that time. Wow. The chat's turning on us talking about the show now. Old mature. What? Yes, I know. That's just who he is. Wait till the soft head. The soft headed.
I like Jace in the new Dune movie.
Always for being sense.
Speed ain't that strong.
Yeah.
That's funny.
It does take away from the characters when they do that. I think the casting is important, and they really fucked it up. Or they didn't fuck it up. They did what they wanted to do, and I just don't think that was the right way to do it. And Game of Thrones had a much better start because they put some effort into finding the right actors for the right parts physically, and I think that did help. And this just, I do like Hugh the Hammer. He looks like he could be all right. I suitably hate Ulf already.
I have really no issues with the actors for the most part. I think the scenes, there's some scenes that they're great in, there's some scenes that they're bland in, but I don't see any way it's their fault. And I think most scenes in a vacuum, just if you just watch those scenes with no context of the source material or any sort of agenda, you just kind of watch the scene for what it is. Those scenes are actually well directed and they look good. The problem is how they're spliced together into this narrative overall, episode to episode. So I think that's mostly my issue. I think their acting's fine, performances are fine,
except for Massaria. She's the worst actress. Like, oh my god, it's so bad.
Yeah, well, we didn't know Moondor action, right, Christian? No Moondor action. That's what we want to see, Lady Aaron.
Yep.
Sadly, no Moondor. I gotta say, so I was so like cucked by this finale with no payoff and no action that I'm like, I want to watch like just a big fight scene. And so Netflix keeps telling me to watch Vikings Valhalla, which don't worry, I won't watch. Like, I'll put the last episode, the second last episode, and see if like the penultimate episode, like Game of Thrones used to do, maybe there'll be a big battle or something. I've never watched this show. And so I put the like 3 episode 9 or whatever on, started playing, and immediately there's a fight. I'm like, okay, well, this is at least a fight. Vikings fights were fun and back in the day when Vikings was a good show, and this is not. And it turned out it was a dude who was like a Jarl fighting his daughter, and he got his ass kicked by her, and then I turned it off. That's my story. This
is better than the dog story, I'll be honest with you. It's not great, but it's better than the dog story.
It's better. It's better. But
are we talking about Lannister getting his ass handed to him in mud?
Oh my god. Oh, what the hell?
You don't like trans YouTubers on House of the Dragon?
Are they a YouTuber?
Yeah, it's a YouTuber. Yeah.
Philosophy Tube. That's why.
And she does a lot of really super cringe videos that I only know of this person because I've seen them on cringe compilation videos.
And because that's an issue. So why did you cast this person? Like, why would you cast? You're like, oh man, I know the right person for this part. It's trans YouTuber for sure. Let's get her, him, her, whatever.
As soon as she showed up on the screen, and mind you, I've never read the books. I turned to my husband. I was like, I bet that was supposed to be a man character. That's a male character that's being played by a woman, I guess. That's a man. Like, I don't know. I don't know anymore.
It's confusing, but I think that like we're supposed to be confused by this kind of stuff. I think it's natural for us not to understand what the fuck's going on when faced with things like that. But I'm worried about Thailand. Is he going to be pregnant? Do you think?
Like who? Auto pregnant.
What do you guys think? Will Thailand be pregnant? That could be a good poll. Right now, I've got Allison Feed only as the active poll, but this is will Thailand get pregnant?
It is fantasy.
Yeah,
I think it'll happen. Like, I don't think they'll show it, but I think like in 12 months they're gonna have like Thailand holding a baby, and we're all gonna.
Where did this come from? We all know.
Yeah, I mean, he wants her to. Well, they said that they wanted him to fuck their wives. And I think that, like, based on what we've seen, it's not what we're expecting it to be. It was a book philosophy tube person it's a bread tuber who's like,
Oh, okay.
yeah. And
I mean, it's philosophy, but it goes on about like a lot of the trans stuff too.
So one thing, I whatever the trans stuff, but like not a good actor.
Yeah,
Felt very much like an NPC, and the costume
Yeah.
very much Baldur's Gate.
It
Not
made
gonna
me
lie.
think of like Elizabeth Swann in Pirates of the Caribbean 3.
Yeah, it just didn't fit.
Grand Theft
didn't work for
Auto.
me.
Oh my god.
But that's what you get, because didn't they, like, the last season of Game of Thrones had like cameos by people who can't act either? Wasn't there
Yes.
like an Ed Sheeran or something?
Ed Sheeran and Aaron Rodgers, yeah.
Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers
Who
did
was he? Who was he?
I don't think we know.
He was like in King's Landing, I think. He was like a villager.
Yeah, he was getting I just know he was getting all sorts of shit because, you know, people were trying to figure out who he was played by, and all of his teammates were saying, well, we know it was one of these villagers because none of them know how to run, and you don't know how to run. So.
Got him.
George R. R. Martin was on there too. He was like somebody in like one of the like SOC cities.
That doesn't shock me. Literally,
Don's got to go.
anything
But before you go, Don, this is the trans actor that's playing.
Oh, yeah. Check out this brave trans YouTuber's
Yeah.
channel. I like that.
Yeah, Don's got to go, but this is Abigail Thorne. This is the trans actor. You can tell by her long hair that she likes to be treated like a woman, and
Yeah, she clearly is a bastard child of Corliss too.
yeah. She has a secondary YouTube channel called Abomination AJ, so you can check out that as well. That's where she keeps some of her she calls it her DL content.
Correct.
Yeah. So Don, you got to go.
Yeah, I'm leaving forever. So
Bye, Dawn.
We'll miss you, Don.
Bye, Don.
I miss
See you,
you
buddy.
all. I'll see you.
Take care.
Trans AJ are our friends. They are. I mean, he wanted to be on the show.
Is it AJ trans species though? I thought that it's not dreadlocks, it's his mane.
Right. Yes. He's furry adjacent, I think is what he says.
I thought he'd get really excited on that one time when Alys Rivers is like, I'm a barn owl.
No.
Nope.
Nothing from
He's
him.
not into the feathers.
No.
Mm.
Okay, so the jetpacking thing. The finale, we get that scene with Alicent and Rhaenyra. And I looked back, I watched it again, and they do mention that she's going to fly back to King's Landing.
Yeah.
So that implies that she must have a dragon. And in the chat, could you help me here? Because I don't think she can actually, she's not a dragon rider, so I don't think she can just borrow a dragon and take it for a spin. So Helena would have to be there, is that right? To do that? And if so, how did no one notice her leaving with, well, the queen and her dragon and then coming back?
So it's bizarre because Helena says that she's never ridden the dragon.
Right.
And there's the scene where she goes up to the Black Maester and says, I need your help. I need to get away from the castle, which I think we can logically assume is her asking him to facilitate her getting to Dragonstone. And I would assume back as well. So, you know, if she implied that she was flying, like, it's almost like they rewrote the scene and did a shitty job of editing it.
Or they just never thought it through. Excuse me.
And that's a good point, because I think there are a lot of scenes in this season that you notice that they're very stationary shots. So you may see different angles, but there's not a lot of movement from the characters as they're filming the scenes. So these could have been on sets and they could have filmed them in any order. And then they could have added this to the end after the fact, really, if they wanted to. And if you look at the Corliss stuff, people have talked about the Corliss scenes, they're pretty good. Like, he's a good actor. I do like him. And that confrontation that he had with Alan at the docks, good scene. I like Alan as a character. I think that's all good. And that is really, I think that might be on a set. I don't think that's outside, because you never see anything up. It's always just the same level I think it could be a volume space, but I don't know for sure. But I don't think it's outside because they never show us the other side. You never see anything else. And if you're talking about the budget of the show, and you're not going to show us battles, and if these are mostly virtual sets, and that would explain why everyone in those dock scenes kind of look the same, like they haven't really changed their clothes. They're kind of easily reshot, almost like it was done in one day.
I could see that.
Where did the money go, and why did you not give us any kind of a payoff at the end of this season? Because this was not a finale, and Game of Thrones, always the 9th episode was always the big one, and we were okay with the last one being the sort of outro and prep for next season. But this did that, but we never got that payoff episode. And I wonder why. Like, I wonder what. So Sarah Hess, people are talking about Sarah Hess. I'm not familiar with her. I will look her up. But
Sarah Hess wrote episode 9
of last season. She wrote episode 2, episode 4, and episode 8 of this season. So she was the one that wrote the stupid ass Rhaenys popping out of the dragon pit.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
Yeah, so not only did they not fire the bitch who deserved to be fired, they instead promoted her, gave her more episodes and the finale.
She wrote an episode of Deadwood?
Apparently.
Okay. Yeah, because her experience here, I'll put her up on. I got her IMDb open. We'll do some cyber stalking here for a second because there's not a lot on here.
Yeah, it kind of really gets me, like, looking at this and Rings of Power. It's like the people that produce these shows have so little, like, experience.
She produced 90 episodes of House. There's 90 episodes of House? That sucks.
My God, House ran forever. There's like 250 episodes of House.
Yeah.
Orange is the New Black, also a show that ran for way too long.
Yeah.
Way too long.
Ended like season 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So I'm curious what episode she wrote. The Princess and the Queen, the Green Council for season 1. 2, Rhaenyra the Cruel, okay. The Queen Who Ever Was, yeah.
Ever was.
I don't remember.
What does that even mean?
Well, because Rhaenys was the queen that never was.
Yeah.
Am I the only one that finds it utterly bizarre?
That's some Camelot talk.
That we have Corlys just fucking waxing poetic about how much he loved his wife. Literally 30 seconds after talking to his bastard sons that he sired while cheating on said supposedly adored wife. Like,
yep,
man, that's rough. Like, it's just discordant.
Their whole relationship was not. It rubbed me wrong from the very beginning. The way that they even shoot them strangely. Like, they'll have her standing on something, looking down on him. And he's a tall dude, so they have to put a lot of thought into working those scenes out to have her looking down on him. And she really, as a character, I after the whole dragon pit thing, I thought that kind of ruined her chance at having a great character in the show, because it was absolutely fucking retarded that she had her dragon in front of all the other team, and she's like, she killed all these small folks and just she's out. It made no sense, and they kind of lampshaded it with Daemon this season, and that's all they really.
And what really got me is like when we start up in season 2, and then she's talking about all these horror. Here she's talking with Rhaenyra as they're burying the Erics, and she's like, "Oh my God, all these men doing all these stupid things to start wars, and it's men this and men that." And I'm like, you literally pulled out your dragon and flew away, killing thousands of people in the dragon pit. Like, what? And then we get the repeat of the dragon pit incident with Rhaenyra doing like the what do they call it? The bloody sewing or whatever with the dragon seeds.
Yeah, good grief.
That was so bad. I mean, think about all the great opportunities you have for character building there. You know, we need dragon riders. Let's make a call for random people for dragon riders. And then we could see how all these different people handle the taming of the dragons. And you see great things. You see Nettles like no Targaryen blood in this girl whatsoever. She figures out, hey, you know, maybe these things are just like cats, and I can keep feeding this dragon, and I can tame it, and that's how she tames it. And then there's like, what's his face, like, Hugh the Hammer, and he just sorts of like, you know, strong arms this thing, and I don't remember how the other one gets it, but you know, it's a way to develop character and to make us care about the characters instead of like this stupid thing with Hugh, like always just going on about the poors and all this crap and his dead daughter and all this crap. And like, oh, I was Sarah Targaryen, the OnlyFans daughter, like that went to Lys and became a prostitute. Like, I'm her son, and I came here because I wanted to get away from her. And it's just like, anyway.
No, Nettles was a character that
Nettles was cool.
Yeah, most people were all about Nettles.
Yeah.
And they took her out, and she was like an actual black character already. And I thought it was a cool angle to have her be the person who, you know, had to actually think her way into becoming a dragon rider.
Exactly.
And earn it that way. That's a cool thing to do. And they really
like you said, they earn it. They earn the dragons. They earn their part. They make us care about. That's how you make us care about characters. It's not the, like, you know, racial profile or sexual orientation or whatever victimization they've been through. It's like what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You remember in Shrek when Farquaad gives the speech, some of you may die, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Yep.
Rhaenyra literally was Farquaad. She literally said to those the Dragonseeds, look, some of you are going to get set on fire and be eaten by these dragons, but there's a small chance that one of you becomes a dragon rider for me. So your deaths are totally worth it. We're doing it. Like
it's insane.
Like a cartoonishly evil choice.
Yep.
That just doesn't get mentioned by the show at all.
No, that's a great point too, because I thought that maybe there'd be something there with Hugh after that, because he did look at her after he did get his dragon and saw her just up there like looking satisfied with what happened. And he's a small folk. He already lost his daughter. Maybe he would confront her. That would be a thing, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't see it happening. And also, what did you got? So of the 3 dragons, these 3 new dragons that they've got, the new dragon riders, what did you guys pick up that was in common with all of them? Anything? Nadia? I'll put you on the spot.
Not really. I mean, I think they're the most fun characters, I guess, towards the end of the season. Like, I was way more, even though they had the less screen time, I was way more invested into their stories.
Yeah.
I did like the last episode where they had positioned them in doorways and stuff when they're getting their armor on. I thought those shots were
cinematography was cool there. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, yeah, that's about it, Zax. That's all I got.
Anything from you, from Lord and Lady on that one?
I just saw, you know, we have like the poors and the victims. It's like, you know, like Hugh is the terrible person. Like, he doesn't need a redemption arc. Like, let evil characters be evil, and they're trying to give him this sympathetic backstory, so we feel really sad for him and we connect with him because of his victimhood, but the problem in the show creates this is like, we see where he came from. He came from King's Landing, who he is, a Targaryen bastard that, you know, could possibly make his own claim for the throne. You know, he's just the same as like Rhaenyra. Like, he would be of the same level because he was a grandson of Jaehaerys, because he's Sirab, right? So it's like, you know, a claimant with a throne. And then he's in a position where, by all rights, he should be taking this dragon and absolutely murdering Rhaenyra outright, because his daughter is dead and his wife is starving and all this stuff. It just doesn't make sense. It just creates more problems. But that's the only way that they know how to characterize characters. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good description there. They're definitely all treated as victims, and also none of them earn anything. They don't earn their dragon.
Like, I didn't even think of that.
None of them do. None of them step forward and like claim a dragon. They get claimed by dragons as a result of something else. Like, they didn't earn any of this on their own. They didn't take a chance except for to actually go to meet up, I guess. That's all they really did. They didn't do anything special, whereas Nettles would have, and they could have at least had Hugh be the first one to step forward, which they teased us they were going to do, but instead it was the guy from the Goonies with the messed up face step forward and failed to claim a dragon. And there's no path. It's just a bunch of this show has done a good job now of really following the template that Rings of Power set up. Wheel of Time is doing the same thing where just a bunch of stuff just happens. And you didn't actually do anything. So there's no growth. You don't enjoy what he's done to earn this dragon. And no one likes Ulf probably already. Or maybe you do. But he just he actually falls ass backwards, into a dragon, into Silverwing. So he didn't earn it either. He just showed up and by accident got a dragon. He fell in the mud and was on his back at the time. He didn't step forward. Nothing. So how does that help us connect at all? And Nettles would have stole the show if she was there because she didn't meet the criteria for a dragon in the first place.
Yeah, and it's silly too because the way that they do the picking of the dragons and stuff, it's like Rhaenyra does is so morally reprehensible. You should not like her. And I thought, oh, maybe they're trying to course correct from the book and make us not like her, but like what happened with Rhaenys, there's no consequences to her actions, nothing bad happens from it. That's nobody says anything to her, and it's if anyone does, it'll be oh, it's because she was desperate. I hate that. Yeah, and that's that's true. Gadfly has a good point. He did try to save that woman. I volunteer. There you go. Need more women's in STEM? We do. And war councils. Men start wars. Meanwhile, the two people responsible for this war are the two mothers. Yeah. Who that also, a couple more points I want to get through about this, especially the finale, but Allison, I don't understand what that deal was. But she struck with Rhaenyra at the end, you can kill my son, okay? How can
she's never cared about her kids? She's especially her sons. She doesn't care. But how is she going to facilitate that? Her giving permission, what does that actually do?
I don't know.
If she can open the gates, they can run in and kill them all.
Yeah.
And once all the target her Rhaenyra's rivals are dead, she kind of ascends by default.
I suppose so, but that's so now she has to fly back on the dragon, and she has to be the one to open the gates, even though she's
not even on the council anymore.
No, she's the Dowager Queen, I guess. Is that her title right now?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know. She's not important.
Is it just because she's just mad because she had no designs on power through anything, and then gets all but her when she gets dismissed from the council because she decides she's giving a feminist rant, which was good for you, Aemond, to get her the fuck out of there. I was so tired of that. Anyway. White women are the worst. They ruin everything. Thank you, Jana. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you get it. Season 1, she stood up to Rhaenyra and Viserys after Aemond was attacked and had his eye taken out by Rhaenyra's kids. And where's that energy? With that person that's seen all of this stuff, so not only she just gets mad, she got more upset about her son's freaking eye than her grandson's murder.
That's why I don't think she was upset about her son's eye. I think it was just her pent-up frustrations against Rhaenyra. It didn't matter if Aemond's eye went missing or nothing. That was a buildup that eventually was going to explode. It was just an easy excuse, an easy way to let out that energy. Yeah.
White woman moment. Yeah, for sure.
Is it possible that we as normal human beings look at this and we evaluate the possibility Alicent understands that her sons are monsters and wants them taken out for the good of the small folk, and we just kind of reject that notion out of hand because we're not shitbag communists who want their family dead for the good of society in general? Is that really what they're going for?
I don't know. I could almost buy that if they had done more things to make us hate them. but nobody does anything in this show. Like, oh my god.
And
Please.
I would agree with you with Aemond because of the way she treats Aemond and looks at Aemond. And while she's distant from Aegon, I think if Aegon didn't get burnt and was king still, she wouldn't be in this position. She would just still be like, oh, my son is the rightful king kind of deal.
And I agree with that. I guess the part that throws me is Aegon was running around graping all the servants.
Yes, he was.
And like that apparently didn't bother her nearly as much as Aemond. Fill me in. What was the worst thing that Aemond did in Rhaenyra's mind? So
Aemond, yeah,
her disliking
ate her
Aemond
kid
more than Aegon is utterly bizarre and nonsensical, and is almost you almost have to take into account that the writers of the show dislike Aemond more than they dislike Aegon, and that's why she feels like that, because Aemond hasn't done anything nearly as bad as Aegon has.
Do you mean to Alicent?
In general, I mean, what is the worst thing that? Well, other than eating Luke, I mean,
yeah.
But even that isn't nearly as bad as running around being a sexual monster.
Well, and in the show, they took that responsibility somewhat off of Aemond by saying Vhagar just got pissed off and did it on his own, or her own. Yeah. Sorry for the pronoun mistake there. Don't kill me, dragon. Sorry. Making a small poll before we wrap up the show here. It's Alicent or Rhaenyra. You have to smash one. You don't get to pass.
Oh my god, no.
This is one of those, which would you prefer, the bear or getting pulled over by a female cop?
The bear. The bear. And the bear.
The bear.
Gadfly, I'll get your comment up here. I disagree. They were writing Alicent as a woman trying to be a good mother. Season 2, they realized that Rhaenyra had been written as a pure bitch, so they made Alicent a bitch as well. I mean, that could be. You're right.
I disagree. Season 1, I don't remember any scenes where she's a good mother. Granted, half of the season she was young, but every single time she had a baby in her hands, somebody took the baby away because it was crying. And
yeah, it's really like there was
her focus was on Rhaenyra the whole time. Like,
thank you, Scott, for hanging out, even though you have not, you don't know any of this stuff. So this art actually is interesting because it shows the actual secret passages through the keep.
Is this from the book?
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. So it shows how they would have had to, I guess, get up into the rooms.
I know, it's so interesting because the way they describe it in the book makes it seem like it was way more complicated than just like a straight up thing, a shaft. Mm-hmm. I hate that.
Shaft.
Yeah, a shaft. Really shaft up the very like hard and
no threesomes. Sorry, you got to pick one. Sorry, Shiva, got to pick one.
I know, like I could respect the show a lot more if
Jana.
they just would have gone on like straight like Alicent and Rhaenyra being like full-on lesbians.
And they did make Rhaenyra unlikable, and they didn't fix that at all in this season. I watched the finale, and I thought after, with book aside, who I actually liked on this show. And like I didn't mind Hugh. Otherwise, I can't think of anyone.
The dog.
I used to like Daemon. That was my G last season. Man,
no.
He went a fucking plant diet, dude.
I liked Aemond last season too because he was a bit of a bold badass taking chances, and he ate his cousin, but who wouldn't?
There was a scene this season in the end when what's his fucking face from the council came to tell Daemon like, "Hey, we'll follow you, and I'll follow you instead of Rhaenyra."
Right.
He had showed up by like a 15-year-old.
Season 1, Daemon would have cut his head off right then and there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or would have taken him on. Like, yeah, perfect. All right, we're gonna go make me king now.
Single
Thanks.
combat, let's go.
So he would not have walked limply away.
Right.
That's what happens when you're on drugs, kids.
Yeah,
That's Daemon's
don't do
story.
drugs.
Don't do drugs.
No. And then so you get the in between season, the prep and the promotional stuff that they do, and yeah, now 2 more years to wait, and I got to look at this guy. I can't be.
Oh my god, what the fuck?
That's Aemond. That's the actor. That's
Why is he wearing that? Is he all weird,
He
like the
always
Rhaenyra
wears
actor?
stuff like that.
He's weird. Yeah. Yeah. He's weird. So when they cast him, this is who they cast, and then this is not shocking, I guess, that he comes across the way that he does when he's curled up in a ball. He's a person who needs to have a bit of a bit of embellishment to be scary, I think.
I think I read somewhere where he worked almost 2-3 jobs to get himself through school. Like he comes from a very poor family.
That's good.
Yeah, to get through arts, some really well-known art school.
Mhm.
He really wanted to go for acting, and they just couldn't afford it. So he worked 2-3 jobs to get himself in there. So
good.
Yeah.
Great.
So
Okay.
what happens
So now
between
take
now and Black Kingdom?
all of the time that you were spending doing that and get a fucking Planet Fitness pass. Let's fucking.
But I'm saying I think because he's never had attention like he does now, so he doesn't care. Oh yeah, sure, I'll wear that, whatever. He doesn't come from a family a dynasty in acting or familiar with Hollywood.
Or
So I
maybe it's
think,
just an easy way to get
you throw him
attention.
in. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He doesn't know how to. Yeah, he's not based.
So yeah, I get it. He seems like he's a good actor too.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
He's okay in Saltburn, actually, which I don't
He was in
recommend
that
you watch.
movie?
Yeah, he was the friend who was not really a friend
Oh.
that he ditched, the nerdy guy.
The nerd.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fucking.
I just remembered in the last, the Last Kingdom?
Yeah, he was okay in that too, where he had that he had the bowl cut.
He didn't really feel like that much of a wimp in that movie or show.
No, he didn't, and that's because they kept him, fully clothed. I
We're
think.
not having a nude scene where we are making this guy look like a retard.
No, and I don't want to be unfair to the guy. It's just when I'm looking for a guy to cast as one of the big hero characters, it's probably not going to be him. You're not giving it much of a chance.
I still maintain I'm fine with the casting if they hadn't showed us that scene.
Yeah, agree.
It killed it. It just killed it.
You know what? You're right. I never looked into him at all, really, until that scene. I'm like, does this guy eat at all? And he looked so pathetic, and it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah.
Yeah, agenda's probably true. All right.
Lots of agendas.
I chose poorly. Both polls ended up in the small spring. Hey, well,
I was with you. I said no fee too, so.
Also, think about this.
Also
Everybody's
wins.
been burnt by Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Everybody was hesitant about this. And season 1 proved everybody wrong, right? Universally, everybody really enjoyed it.
Mhm.
Now they basically shat in your mouth with this season. Nobody's going to want to come back for season 3. Knowing the
especially after a 2-year wait. Come on.
Yeah.
Well, you guys, Lord and Lady B, you guys both right. Nadia, you've worked in the industry, so just the structure of this season, is there any way you can make it make sense why they would choose to do it this way if there's not 2 more episodes at least? Why would you put this out there and let it sit for 2 years?
I don't know. I got to look at this and say, there's usually, when you write a TV series, you have there's arcs within arcs. There's the season arc. There's the arc within each episode. There's the 2-episode, 3-episode story arcs. It's stuff like that. And there's things happen and move. And I think we said this so many times. It's where are the characters? How do they move forward at the end of each episode? And there's just no movement. It's nothing has changed. It's we have, it's the same exact scene. It's we have Rhaenyra going to Alicent in the first episode, and then in the last episode, it's Alicent going to Rhaenyra. And how are we still at? We don't want to go like we don't want to go to war, and it's like that like Pirates of the Caribbean clip. It's like you best start believing in pirate stories because you're in one, or ghost stories, or whatever the quote is. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep, I do. Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, you guys are at war. Okay, like it's not gonna like you got to be mean. You know, I don't know.
No, I get it. I think that they're holding back on.
Yeah.
They're holding back way too much. Like you better be a 10 if you're going to hold back like this.
Yeah, and there's so many other things that I think are missing. It's like they're really afraid to make women look bad, and that is something. That's why even when they do something that is like we can all say is bad, like there's no consequences for it. And I think it's like I keep going back to saying this. It's like fan fiction tropes. It's the idea that like your traumatic, whatever trauma you suffered in your life is your personality, or like whatever your characteristics are. And they really lean into that, and they don't understand it's not the trauma in your life that defines who you are, but how you respond to it. So there's, something bad can happen to you, sure, but like how do the characters react to it? And they kind of miss that.
They whiffed on it. I think all of that.
I know
I
it.
have a way to
And
fix this.
yeah. What do you think?
First of all, if you're going to do 8 episodes, each episode has to be the same amount of time. Okay.
Yeah,
Stop.
that is one thing. I completely agree.
Hour and 15 stuff. I would do a battle, like a small battle, maybe halfway through, and then episode 7 do a bigger battle. And then have episode 8 be the aftermath of those mistakes, and then leading into the next part of the war. Right. Harrenhal should be shortened down to like maybe an episode and a half. And I would also if you want to fill in, spend more time on the Dragonseed writers. Give me a little bit more background lore into them if you really want to kind of fluff it out. Like we already know where everybody's allegiance lies in the black and green. We already know the tension in between their own factions. Give me a little bit more on these new characters that I'm supposed to care about. It'd be more impactful when they become dragon riders. But yeah, I would have at least given a huge, like a big battle for episode 7. I don't know which one. I've never read the books, because the books are, this one especially is written like a textbook. So you can like expand on this stuff and make it really gory and epic. And then your episode is the aftermath leading into season 3, which the 2-year wait then would be worth it. But you literally given me nothing excited to come back for.
Yeah, exactly.
Well
I
said.
think there's so many problems. And another thing is that, create some additional material. There isn't a lot in the book. So if like you want to lean into the Riverlord stuff, you want to give Daemon something to do, let's start investing with the Blackwoods and the Brackens. Let's invest in the family. Let's go into the like Grover Tully is old and dying. What is his family doing? Like, what is the tension there? I mean, there is so much in that story alone. It's just natural. It's like this old guy that doesn't want to take a side, and yet you have your younger like family members like saying, hey, we need to do something because Daemon's flying around and terrorizing us. And why doesn't he do that? It's like, it's like you have a giant dragon and you just show up, like you roll up in the party with this like huge beast. You can terrorize everyone. It's like, I'm taking Harrenhal. And then from there, you can just go and do the same thing to everyone else. Like he doesn't even use his dragon for that.
Right.
And I agree with Lady B. We need somebody evil. Like we need somebody bad. Everybody's wishy-washy this season. Like they do a bad thing, but then it's suddenly forgiven, or like somebody needs to be the villain, and I don't feel like there's any villain in this entire season.
Yes. Let bad people be bad.
That was a carry on from season 1 for me, because they had all these characters who everything again just kind of happened. Like Aemond didn't eat Luke. Vhagar just kind of did it. Rhaenyra didn't kill Laenor, and there's no resolution there whatsoever. It doesn't really make sense that Seasmoke is bonding with Adam when Laenor is, as far as we know, still alive out there somewhere, because they weren't willing to have Rhaenyra be the one to pull the trigger on that one.
Because I thought behind the scenes said that him coming back was a sign that he was dead. Then why didn't you kill him off in the first season? Like, put the stakes ahead. You could then create a lot of dynamic between Corlys and Rhaenyra, and there's a wedge in between there now that she's killed his son, or Daemon has. Like there's a lot of tension and build up and storylines you could go with, instead of just like letting him roll off and then season 2 just making an excuse like, oh yeah, he died off screen.
Yeah, because they don't want to do the kill your gays trope, but then it's like it's like with the racial swapping stuff. It's like, great, now you've created like a whole bunch of magical Negroes tropes. So it's like, I don't know. Plus that whole thing, like, I think it's so funny when they do stuff like that, because it creates so many problems where it's like, okay, you didn't want to be racist, so you changed all the races of these characters. You even like created something that's more racist. Like, okay, you have 2 black characters talking about how he doesn't have a father. Like, that is extremely stereotypical. Come on, guys.
That's
like,
true. I can't believe I didn't say that earlier. That's a good point.
like, it was. I think I said it on Nadia's show. Like, bro.
And the whole fact that Rhaenyra meets Adam and she's like, who's your dad? And I'm like, how many men do you know?
Yeah, right?
Have this kid who has dragon blood in him. Like, now.
And she's being creepy stepmom too in that scene, because she's like stroking his face and like pulling him closer
and touching his hair.
Yeah, what are you doing?
No, I'm talking about Rhaenyra.
Yeah,
but I know what you're talking
okay.
about. Like when she meets him on the beach and she's like, who's your daddy?
Oh, yeah. She's asking that. That scene just comes out of nowhere. Like, what's going on? Like, wait, what happened?
But again, he kind of got like essayed by Sea Smoke. He didn't really, he didn't want it. He got attacked and chased and then thrown himself at him. Like Alan didn't earn that dragon, or sorry, Adam didn't earn the dragon either.
I know, right? How sad is that? I mean, he can't even be man enough to claim the dragon for himself. And how many times did they talk in the show about like, dragons are hard to tame, like you just have to claim them. And so what happens, like one person stumbles onto a dragon and just finds it, the other person gets like kind of picked by the dragon and he's like, this big scary dragon, like take it by the balls and like ride that thing.
That's right, ride it, baby,
ride the dragon.
I think this is a good comment, Gadfly. Yeah, they were desperate to make Rhaenyra have her seem as though she's a good queen. But like, you can do that by having her actually do things that you could consider to be good as a queen, instead of just telling us that we're supposed to be on Team Black all the time, but not actually making it compelling whatsoever. Like, she is not a compelling character in this series, and the actress is fine, but I don't feel invested in her at all. They failed that.
It's like George R. R. Martin has this quote that he says all the time, is that he likes writing characters where the human heart is in conflict with itself. And I really think that's what happens with Alicent and Rhaenyra, this story. It's, you really feel for them because each one is in her own right a good mother, and she wants what's best for her family. But in each case, whatever choice each one makes is going to lead to war. There's no good solutions on this, and they don't know really how to play that off. And I don't think they like families either, so.
No, that's true. They break apart the family. That's true. And Alicent, like, she's not, neither of them are like really good mothers. I mean, really sending Luke out by himself to go to, like, because of the casting, that kid was like ridiculously young to be like flying around as a negotiator with like the Baratheons. The kid's like 4 years old. How's he going to negotiate? He can't protect himself, dragon nearby or not. And obviously that didn't pay off, but all the parenting stuff is really weird. And having her be a good mother and a good queen, telling us that and then showing us something else it's almost, it's just too late.
We didn't talk about the worst part though.
Oh, go.
The fucking white worm relationship she's got going on with.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what the fuck is going on there?
What? Yeah. Why did this happen? Why is she so good? And it's like, I'm still kind of trying to figure out, okay, it's like she has like someone with the cell phone in King's Landing. It's like, it takes them at least like, I would say like 2-3 days to get to by ship. But all of a sudden she knows exactly, well, and like tomorrow morning, they're going to do this thing in King's Landing. It's like.
And my thing is, So the last episode, we don't see her for quite a bit of time, and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, all right, that's fine. And then fucking they put her in just for no reason towards the end, like a confidant to Rhaenyra. I'm like, you just made up with your husband, and you still got your side chick around. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
Women affirming women.
Who was also his
side chick.
chick.
Yes.
Yeah.
Threesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Never
They just
addressed
passed
at
around.
all.
How many STDs must be going around King's Landing, man? They just
Dude,
like passed each other. Like they don't care.
Daemon has to be brain rotted by syphilis at this point. There's no way that he's not. So
Maybe that's why he's so dumb in the show.
could be. Is that what happened? Daemon got syphilis so bad his junk fell off, and now he doesn't have any
Probably.
balls. Like,
It's all the inbreeding with the Targaryen.
That's why he couldn't finish. Maybe either. Maybe it hurt to finish. I don't know.
His
But
heel hurt.
His hilt hurt. Oh, well done, Lady B. Well played. The actress who plays Miseria, she's Sonia Mizuno is her name, and she's been in other stuff, and she's a former ballerina. And so as a former ballerina, she's a good ballerina. Just
not a good actor.
Not a great actor.
No, she's like, isn't she like Alex Garland's like
Yes.
girlfriend or something? And that's why she was in the movies at all.
Well, she's like his muse because apparently she's like he's with someone. I mean, whatever, it's Hollywood, so probably not. But yeah, she's definitely his muse. She's in all of his stuff. She was in that show Devs, which I actually quite liked. People didn't like. I liked it, but her character in it was a blank slate. Like she was a plank of wood in the show, so it was okay. There you go. So I think that's part of how she gets roles. Maybe.
Yeah.
She takes her clothes off, so I'll give her that. But yeah, she's not good. She's a horrible actress. I wish her the best, but she keeps getting. And Alice Garland puts her in everything now, but I don't know why she's in this. And it's a complicated character that you could, maybe if she had a personality that might.
Yeah, she's a cool character.
Useful.
There's
Yeah.
a lot to work with there, but
Get an actress who was a ballerina. That's what you get.
no cake there yet. No, like
No
Rhaenyra is not riding dragons and eating cake with that one.
No kick whatsoever. All right, guys. So let's wrap this up. Over 2 hours. Thank you for hanging out, all of you.
Ah, thank you.
Yeah, so let's talk about Lord and Lady B. What's going on with White Cloaks and with your channel?
Oh my goodness. I don't know. Well, they started recording rewatches of Wheel of Prime.
season 2 got another recording session Saturday, so hopefully we start getting those out 2 a week. If not, maybe next week and the week after.
And they're just season 2 rewatches, right? You're not going all the way back again.
No,
Please don't do that.
we already did season 1 rewatch.
Oh my god.
It's so bad. I want to get going on talking about books, and I do have my parents did bring me my favorite childhood books from home, and I definitely wanted to do like what I did with the Father Christmas stories and read a couple of them that are on the shorter side. But I definitely want to cover this one this way, the Ice Dragon.
Oh.
I didn't think I was going to find this book, but it is there, and it's got some cool illustrations, so I feel like they're something that's worth sharing and stuff like that. So
Cool.
I always think when there's good illustrations, like it's kind of cool to talk about that too. So yeah.
So go subscribe
back
to
in
White
the
Cloaks.
thing.
That's Alex's channel, and Lady B is also heavily involved in that. And then also Lady Balefire, go subscribe to her.
Thank you.
She's on her own over there, and she's doing her own stuff. And I love the Summerlin stuff you did. And my favorite probably video you've done is probably the Tolkien letters with the Christmas.
Father
I thought that
Christmas
was
month, those are fun.
that was awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna see if the guys want to do the Hobbit again too. So we'll get that going. If anyone wants to do that with us, let us know.
Nice.
Cool. Get the Hobbit. And Nadia, you guys are getting close on Inside All Day, which is why I put that up here.
Yes, we're once we get to 500, we'll be able to be monetized. So
yeah,
that's dope. And we're coming back after we did House of Dragon season 2. We're coming back for HBO's Penguin.
Yeah.
So we're gonna figure out a day during the week. We're not gonna go right after the episode ends. I'm not gonna torture everybody again.
Okay, well, you guys did the reviews of the show. All Hot D episode 2 is all on your channel Inside All Day, right?
Yep. Yes.
So
Yeah.
if you like the hot D, and Lady B is there for I think most of them, right?
Yeah, I
and
think I missed 2 episodes.
And she's joining me for the Penguin. So.
Yeah. I know nothing about Batman other than seeing movies, so I'm gonna go like raw dog in the show. So
I am watching a Colin Farrell series right now called Sugar, and it's also I think it's an Apple series, not HBO, but I'm into it. It's pretty cool. It's very different, and there's about to be a big twist. I feel like coming. So, and then he's got the Penguin where he doesn't look like himself whatsoever.
that's cool. I like him as an actor. I'm curious to see what this is all about.
He's great in the movie. In the Batman, he was one of the best parts of that movie. I'm not a big fan of that movie, but he was very good in it as a Penguin. And so you don't just have Inside All Day horror with Nads. What's that about?
So that's a channel just dedicated to horror. Since I've got a background working in horror movies for a long time, I just dropped my review on Trap. It was crap. Spoiler alert. And I actually got a really nice comment while we were on stream saying like, "Hey, you got my sub because you're an honest reviewer."
There you go.
So I was like, "Yeah." And then this Saturday, I also dropped a retro trailer reaction to Aliens, which I've never seen, which I'm doing the watch party this Saturday for.
Nice.
And then tomorrow I'm on Gary's channel for Pop Culture Minefield for Evil Dead. So.
As a nerd, you have managed to not watch most of the nerd stuff.
I know. I have a list. I just sent it to everybody.
Do y'all have a list of shame? I still have not seen all the Rocky movies.
Neither have I.
I've only saw Top Gun last year, so
have not seen Top Gun. Have not seen Blade Runner.
I saw Maverick.
Full Metal Jacket. Weird Science. Never seen. Beverly Hill Cops.
Yeah.
Beverly Hill Cops is also not a movie, but
RoboCop, Judge Dredd, or Demolition Man. Is what? Yeah.
I think, and it's cool because now you get to react to them with other people who already love those films, and they get to see it for the first time through you. I like that. It's cool.
That's a nicer way of putting it than Goodwin does.
What does he say?
He just gives me hell for it.
For not having seen them.
Yes.
Speaking of giving hell, I do owe Christian, before we go, do you all even watch the show? Yeah, unfortunately, although I gotta admit, I was like getting pretty skippy in a couple episodes, which has never happened to me with a show like this before, but I did skip through some of the talky stuff, and I didn't appear to miss anything, especially the finale. I don't know. I've never wanted an episode to be over so much. I could feel they weren't going to pay us off.
Man, I was on my phone the whole time. When I'm on my phone watching a show like this intense, that means I'm bored out of my mind with what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about to host a post show. Like you can't, a post show, like you immediately after you're going live. And so for you to be on your phone while that's about to happen, like that tells you a lot.
I kind of felt like that. There were a few times when I was looking at it and I'm just like, I try so hard to pay attention to this stuff. And
But the thing is, our panel was great because we all kind of aligned a little bit with how we all had different sides of what characters we liked, but we all aligned with the fact that every episode seemed to have just gotten worse and worse as we went. So while I didn't really care to watch the show, I had more fun trashing the show, I guess, in our stream. So,
but you didn't intend that. That tells me a lot. That wasn't the intention of your coverage.
No, I was a hardcore Team Black. Rhaenyra is the right.
Yeah.
And now I could give two shits. I don't care.
I'm going to play a clip, even though he's probably not here, but it's a fun clip. We're all going to enjoy it. It's everyone's favorite reviewer, John Campion.
Where you can all stand around and jerk each other off while you tilt your head backs and go, woke, 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 woke. And then you can come on each other's faces and tell each other that come on your face cleanses you of wokeness. Whatever is going to get you off and make you feel good about yourself, come on your face.
Imagine his neighbors.
What's up, Adam Gray? Good to see you, dude. Yes.
Yes, it needs a beat and a TikTok dance.
It's very it's very descriptive. He goes full in, like he really wants you to know what he's thinking about. My ears were burning. Yep. Yeah, it's a good one. He deleted that, but it's still out there because the internet, we all live forever. Thanks for hanging out, guys, tonight. I am going to be back on the weekend.
Thank you.
Saturday night, Circle of Jerks, either here or somewhere else, but I'll put that out in time for Saturday. And last week was fun, so we have some new characters, some new lore we're breaking down, and some wacky people to show off. And in the meantime, I'm going to need the chat to all rise and pay your respects, and to the earworm of all earworms.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a great week. Sounds gay.
Respect to the trans community. And fuck you, transphobes.
Trans people are my friends. Transphobes gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Trans people are my friends. Transphobes gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends. So respect them for we're going in. Transphobes, show your fucking mouth. I'll knock you out. I'll knock you out. Transphobes, show your fucking mouth. I'll knock you out. You better watch out. Trans people are my friends. Transphobes gon' catch these hands. Trans people are my friends.